This is Post Feed'em, and you are watching the Board No More Network.
Yo, what's going down? Hope everyone's well. I think I'm live. Just a random one today, so who knows who'll show up. If anyone will show up, I'm not expecting anyone to show up. Not that hey, look at that. We got Screwed Up Texas in the house. What's up, my dear friend? Just a random jibber jabber, nothing special. See, I know how to sell the show. I'm just telling you guys, it's just like, it's pointless. Why are you here? I don't even know why you're here. I don't know why I'm here. I think I'm just here because just felt like rambling one of those days, I suppose. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in a bad way. So I'm just going to throw this on because I just want to hear it right now while I do something else. Some good old Bad Brains. It's not an SOS radio, but I figured why not? Good old Bad Brains, boys and girls. You know how it goes. Word to the big bird out there. That could be you, that could be me, that could be everyone.
Why must all people keep on shooting and robbing? And why must all people keep on killing and fighting no high? I and I will never try.
If you don't, Bad Brains are just sick, man.
And why must
they go from like some serious, for reals, hardcore. One of the first to do that speedy fast, very hardcore punk. From that to like some serious, stripped down culture, style of reggae, you know. Proper reggae, you know. Yeah. What kind of 40 ouncer is that? This? It's a jar of instant coffee, Mexican style instant coffee. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying, Stevie? And inside there, we have some mineral water and some lime with pure real sugarcane sugar, but not like the grounded up stuff. Screwed Up Texas. You know, negros. All the way down there in Houston, Texas. We got Orthodox Boomer Grandma has joined us. What's going down? She's busy with the icon business, candle making. Orthodox Boomer Grandma. I look forward to the day we come out and see you there live and in charge, face to face, set up a show. Our dear brother Alexander Walker is in the house. In the background we have, of course, we have the amazing, the magnificent
Bad Brains. Bad Brains. Welcome, Timothy. Welcome to the show.
I don't know what kind of show it's going to be. I have nothing planned. I was just having a weird Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Correct, Wednesday today. Fasting. It's a fast day. And I don't know, I was feeling a little shaky. Do you know what I mean? Like physically, mentally, and spiritually shaky. Vanamides, Manny. Equally so. I don't know if maybe mentally and spiritually if he's feeling shaky, but he is physically he's feeling shaky. Mr. Walker says, Mano, you ever get down to Easy Street? Oh, yeah. Easy Street All-Stars? Absolutely. Absolutely. Some sick tracks, man. Radio Dread. Radio Dread's a sick album. Dub Side of the Moon. Pretty good. It's not bad. Actually, Dub Side of the Moon definitely made me rethink Pink Floyd a bit. As listeners to the show, you guys know I'm not a massive Pink Floyd fan. But Dub Side of the Moon got me interested in them again. Hope everyone's doing well out there. How's your Wednesday? How's it going? What are we having for dinner? Some shrimp? Lentils? That's what we're having. I don't know what to ramble about. I don't know. I got stuff on my mind, but I don't know if that's appropriate. Some good things to say or bad things to say. I don't know. If anyone has a subject to ramble about, let me know. Throw that in the comments. Honestly, today I just figured I was having one of those days. Like I said earlier, I was just going to jump on and just see what happens. Nothing really planned whatsoever. Wasn't even going to do this thing. Then they decided, you know what? Let's do this thing. Why not, right? I guess it's turning into an SOS radio without me intending it to be. All right, what do we got here? Did you ever rant about why you're not into Pink Floyd? No, I have not. Why you're not into Pink Floyd? Alexander Walker wants to know why I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan. About to hear the conference and Akitis. Which conference? Oh, had to. You're about to head to. Timothy's about to head to the conference. Oh, nice. What conference are you going to, brother, man? Beef stew for dinner. Oh, man, you're killing me, dude. You're killing me. On a fast day, you're having beef stew for me? You're tempting me here, buddy. Pink Floyd, why I'm not a huge fan? Well, I'm not a big prog rock fan. So I'll start with that. I'm not really huge into prog rock, generally speaking, with a few exceptions, of course. If people consider, Frank Zappa prog rock or proggy-ish, I'm a Zappa fan. Of course, I have to throw this little caveat in there. I am well aware of the psyops stuff related to Mr. Zappa. I'm definitely aware of all that stuff, but I do enjoy his music quite a bit for a number of different reasons. Let's see, other prog rock stuff I'm into. Some of it I don't know if you consider Les Claypool proggy. Definitely into Les Claypool. Same warning as the Zappa thing comment I just made, I would say. But Pink Floyd, I don't know. Maybe it was just because I don't like Pink Floyd fans usually. No, I'm just kidding. No, there's a bunch of people that are Pink Floyd fans that I know personally that are really awesome. I don't know. Just wasn't my thing. Although the first album was pretty good. I liked it because I like the Mad Hatter. What's his name? Oh, I forgot now. The dude that died, Sid Barrett. Not a King Crimson fan? No, not a King. I'm not really a King Crimson fan. Although I have to say they're sick. Like there are a lot of like proggy bands that I definitely respect. Some that I used to listen to. Okay, so Tool is definitely considered prog metal. I was a big Tool fan. Still love their music. My reasons for backing away from them are because of where they're coming from. If you know what I'm saying. Germanus jumped in. What's up, dude? Germanus is saying, oh no, I just jumped in on and you were talking about prog rock. Yeah. I don't remember how it came up, prog rock. Oh, we're talking about Dub Side of the Moon, Easy Stars, All Stars, and I was saying, I was just saying that they made me rethink Pink Floyd. Yeah, Piper in the no, it's not called Piper in the. Yeah, but the Piper is the first album. That's a great one. Sorry, now I'm looking at the chats. Back to how do we end up at prog rock? Germanus, the way we ended up at prog rock, I was just talking about Dub Side of the Moon that came up, and then I was just saying how Dub Side of the Moon got me to rethink a little bit of the Pink Floyd stuff. Justin Marler is here. Welcome, Justin. Sick of it all. Okay, absolutely. Great pick. Although it wasn't going to be SOS Radio, and I'm not necessarily sure that it is an SOS Radio. It's just a totally impromptu, random, jibber-jabber, jibber-jabbering things. Is this turning into an SOS Radio now? Before Vespers? Here, I got you before Vespers. Hold on. You know what? I'll show you what I was watching there. I don't know. Has this turned into an SOS Radio, an impromptu, random jibber jabber chatter, or maybe SOS Radio? Is that what's happening now? Hold on. All right, so Mr. Walker asked, any conspiracy connections with Dark Side of the Moon and perfectly, with Wizard of Oz. There are some, but I'm not sure which one, like, I don't know. There's so many of weird stories about, like, stuff like that, or even Nosferatu and, was it Kid A? Radiohead, and they line him up and blah, blah. I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of that one. Wizard of Oz on its own is already weird enough with its conspiracy theories and stuff like that. No, none that I know specifically, Mr. Walker. Sorry if you guys are bored. This is just totally a random thing. I have nothing prepared, nothing thought out of discussing or talking. I was watching an old interview from Much Music. Again, Much Music is the Canadian version of MTV, and like I've always said, much better. No pun intended with the much. But Much Music was pretty awesome. I was watching a really cool interview with HR from Bad Brains on Much Music, and it was pretty cool, man. I love listening to HR talk. He's what an interesting character, man. I was doing a little bit of a deep dive, I guess, at the beginnings of into Bad Brains, and just kind of like breaking down their story for myself. And I was like, oh, maybe I should talk about this on a stream. So I might do an episode on Bad Brains. I might just start picking some bands I'm really like excited about currently, and then just start breaking some of those down, or something like that. I don't know. A couple of people had sent me messages asking for stuff like that. There was the episode that I did way back about the history of subculture, and I tried to kind of like do a quick overview. Well, it didn't turn out to be so quick, but I did an overview of subculture generally speaking. So I went through a bunch of different subcultures from the beginning of the the invention of a teenager, and started from there, moving all the way through. Went from everything from garage rock to reggae, the beginnings of hip hop, to punk, of course, and proto punk bands. Played a lot of proto punk bands. Everyone seemed to like that episode a lot, and a couple other ones where I did breakdowns. I can't remember. Another one people had asked for was a bigger deep dive into Bob Marley and his conversion from Rastafarianism to Oriental Orthodox, Ethiopian Orthodox, a year before his death. I did that one stream where I was talking a lot about that, and a lot of people wanted me to go deeper. So maybe I'll start doing that. I don't know if anyone's out there listening or watching or any of that. Let me know if that's kind of stuff that you're interested in. I guess I'm just gonna jabber about stuff that are on my mind, things I'm looking into or excited about or curious about currently. I guess that's what I'm gonna jabber on now. So we started off with Bad Brains. Was a little bit more. I was like, I want to go a little bit deeper into their history. Really, really cool. Interesting band, interesting history, interesting background, like the whole thing, where they are now. HR intrigues me. For those that don't know who HR is the lead singer of Bad Brains, who I believe is going on tour this year now. I think I saw a post somewhere where he's going to be playing with Dead Kennedys. I think it is. He's going on tour with Dead Kennedys. I think that is, which is a weird. Well, I don't know. I got my issues with the Dead Kennedys, although I do enjoy their music. It's more of some of their takes on some certain subjects, let's say. Mr. Walker, Germanus says, first, only one place on the web that gives us an ortho MTV. It's true. It's kind of true. Although this wasn't an SOS radio, but it might be now. Always down for those music history rants, Mr. Walker says. Is there a specific subject or something like that anyone's interested in throwing in the chats that maybe I'll be like, oh yeah, I am interested in that, but I might not be. There might be some subjects I'm not into. I definitely been putting off the punk, history of punk rock and its association with the Tavistock Institute. Mostly the stuff that came out of the UK in the mid 70s, well 77 onward. Been putting that one off for a minute. Actually, I've been putting off a lot of that kind of conspiratorial stuff for a little while. Let's say almost a year. I kind of really haven't been talking a lot about that stuff. I'm kind of not, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about why I'm not doing that. Yes, what killed British punk? What killed British punk? Well, first of all, the way it started, that was Germanus's question. Timothy says DC punk. Oh yeah. We should definitely do that. Germanus, New Wave came and Wham. Yes, Germanus, I would say that would be one of the. But hold on, before we get to the end of that. So since this is a jabber stream, the beginnings of Brit punk is important to cover. I would even start it even before 77. Like if I was to start a deep dive into the whole British scene in terms of punk and subculture, I would probably start. What's up, Mr. Johnson? Mr. Buck Johnson's in the house. Just for those guys that are jumping in right now, don't expect much. This is just a ramble conversation / jabbering / I play a track here or there. So back to the punk thing. I would start. I mean, where do you start, right? Of course, you can go as far back as to some of the British invasion bands that were more garagey, Kinks, Them, which is where Van Morrison comes from. Them. You guys remember Them? Do you guys remember Them? Bad joke. Practicing my dad jokes. So I would say Them. I would say the Kinks. Bands like that, I would say, started off the kind of like the beginnings of it, but really it was the whole like the British music scene differs greatly from the American music scene. So you had stuff like the Teddy Boys. The Teddy Boys were kind of like I guess like rockabilly, throwback, rock and roll looking kind of dudes. There was the Teddy Boys. Later on, the Skinheads. The skinhead history is quite interesting, and it's very misunderstood. Basically, working class Brits, that kind of thing. So we have that. That by the time you get to like the Ramones showing up in the UK, the British audience, American audience, completely sick and tired of arena rock. All those types of shows. Big, huge concerts, filling up stadiums like Zeppelin and stuff like that. They're kind of sick of all that and the BS that comes along with it. So then, of course, you have the Ramones showing up in '76. Yes, I skipped a whole bunch. Of course, we didn't mention Iggy Pop and the Stooges. That's a very important one. Yes, that it matters in the UK. They were recording some of their albums in the UK and did some weird underground shows in the UK. Actually, before the Ramones got to the UK. I keep saying the UK. And then you get the Ramones showing up there in '76. And in the audience, of course, you have a lot of prominent British punk bands. Of course, the Pistols. Of course, the Clash, Jam, Dead Boys, like the whole nine, right? So Damned, all that stuff. So and of course you have the Ramones kickstarting that off there, just by people seeing the simplicity of how they did their thing, the energy of the show. The room was going berserk and nuts. Hey, if these guys can play music, I can play music. That kind of ethos. Of course, the DIY, do-it-yourself attitude is super important. Why am I talking about this? Oh yeah, Germanus, and then and then you have but then you of course you have Malcolm McLaren and Mr. Rhodes, McLaren with the Pistols, Rhodes with the Clash, and the whole background there. I don't know what I'm rambling about, guys, but yeah, Germanus, to your point, what killed Brit punk? I think it's what killed that style of punk, generally speaking, which is what you already said, which was new wave. But let's be clear. Let's clarify the term new wave, because that's an interesting term. Originally, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, as punks would see it. It was just like a new wave of music. So like a lot of punk music at first was fitting under the title of new wave. The reason being, it was a marketing maneuver, because punk had already had this like negative connotation to it. People kind of viewed it as gnarly and degenerate and all this stuff, which it kind of was. And then you had a rebranding of it, because the record labels they wanted to push Blondie, they wanted to push Elvis Costello, they wanted to push some of these bands that they could see that kind of bubbled up and came out of that move. Talking Heads, they started coming out of those punk movements, generally speaking, UK and the States. But they wanted to kind of give them a softer, more poppier sound, as well as being able to kind of bypass the fact that everyone had a bad taste in the mouth with the word and term punk. So of course, that killed that style of punk. But it gave birth to hardcore. It gave birth to hardcore, because all those other punk bands were like, no man, we wanted to continue this style of music, the ethos behind it and all that stuff, and we don't want to sell out. So that it brought punk back underground, and it became hardcore. So we did start off with me just randomly playing Bad Brains, and I've been listening to a lot of Bad Brains, doing a deep dive for anyone that's tuning in now. If anyone's still around, I don't even know if anyone's around. Again, like I said, this is a jabber session, just random, off the cuff. No particular thing in mind. So if you guys want me to jabber about something, throw something in there. Man, it's wrong. Man, the answer is punk's not dead. Oh, no, I 100% it's not dead. Didn't say punk is dead, Mr. Germanus. I didn't say punk is dead. But I do struggle with some of that sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, coming back to orthodoxy and listening to certain music that maybe, right? Like, I'm always trying to be careful. So I think it was Buck once mentioned, either in one of his streams or when he was on my show a couple times, we were talking about punk. Something about asking Father Turbo if he could listen to Agnostic Front. Can he, as an Orthodox Christian, can I listen to Agnostic Front? That kind of thing. So I have a lot of those thoughts on my mind all the time. Like, should I be listening to this? Can I listen to this? Should I play this on the show? You guys always see me struggling with like certain artists and the psyop thing, and like, yes, I'm aware, blah, blah, blah. Should I still play it? I ask myself that question often. But you know what? How about this as like a little rant, a little ramble off the top of the dome. Buck Johnson said he said yes. That's correct. I should have thrown that in. I said this story and I didn't finish. Father Turbo said yes. He said yes. Understandably so. What was I going to say? I was saying something. Oh, the struggling with some of the content in certain music or books or shows or whatever that may not fit with my beliefs as a Orthodox Christian. Where one thing I remind myself, and I don't know if it's an excuse. I mean, there's certain things that I definitely draw a line on, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. There's certain things that I'm just like clear with myself. I'm not playing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna get into that. Oh, that's awesome. Young Penitent just said he's gonna get our boy Buck on the show. That's gonna be cool. So what I would have to say is Justin Marler says I weaned myself off all the great punk / metal. Yeah, I've begun to do the same, Justin. There's certain ones that I've completely like just done. Can't do it. Can't do that. Can't put my mind there. Can't put my heart there. Most importantly, then there's some other artists and bands where I see that they have an internal struggle. At least, I mean, from what they say, some of the lyrics, I don't know them personally. You know what I mean? But I could see that they're struggling with certain things and thoughts, and they're changing how they present music, ideas and thoughts out there. And then I also remind myself that oftentimes, and I don't know if this is an excuse of mine, this is something I definitely need to discuss with my spiritual father. I'm talking about it with you guys. I guess that's just thinking out loud. Is that like, okay, so now God, I've even known people, friends of mine, musicians I used to play with, that weren't, their heads and hearts weren't in the right place on anything, and they were often, by our standard for sure, not Christian at all, and their thoughts, behaviors, actions, lyrics, the whole thing. But every once in a while, they would write a song, and I would listen to I would read the lyrics and listen, and I'm like, dude, so this guy has an inner struggle. And I would sit down and talk with them, and it's almost as if God still finds a way to still plant seeds in everyone, even those that are participating in dark thoughts, dark activities, dark beliefs. He still seems through the arts to still kind of, plant these seeds, these ideas, and the individual may start questioning things. And so some of so I'm definitely rambling. I even lost myself. I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's kind of like, not to use a cheesy example, but have you guys all seen a flower growing out of a crack of concrete where there's concrete everywhere? There's a little crack, and you see like an actual flower, not a weed, but a flower find its way through the crack and grow amongst all that concrete, nothing, deadness. So sometimes I keep that in mind when I listen to some things that are a little bit darker. Why I play some of those songs on the show is because it's good conversation starter. Like I can get some of my thoughts out. People can go back and forth with me through the chats or whatever. Even discussing the history of some musicians and songs. A good example, I know I talk about him a lot, but he's always on my mind just because he was one of my early obsessions musically, was Joe Strummer. When you look at Joe Strummer, in the early years, you see this angry dude, a very socialist, very just angry. Then you see like just rebellion without a cause, I would say, in some cases. And you see this conflict within Joe, and you see it in his lyrics. You see there's a lot of contradiction in some of his lyrics up until like the London Calling era. And then later on, he leaves the Clash, and whatever that falls apart. I'm kind of just jumping here quick, and he takes a whole whack of time off, and he goes to South America, and Latin America, and he just pretends to be just a villager, grows a beard, and just trying to figure stuff out. When he comes back to making music, shout out to Tim Armstrong for not only signing him but also creating a record label for him, for Joe Hellcats, actually one of the first signings. Anyways, by the time he gets to the Mescaleros and the way he was approaching music then, you see a man who's conflicted with the idea and concept of God. What is it? What do I believe? What is my music doing? And he would do such things as he would go to a lot of those British outdoor festivals, especially because in the UK there's like a bajillion of them and they're all over the place. And he would just show up, he'd play his show, he'd get off stage, and he would not hang out with musicians. He would go and like literally there's stories, I've told this before 100 times, where like literally there'd be a campfire of people just there at the festival, and all of a sudden out of nowhere this guy comes out with a guitar, a cigarette dangling from his mouth, and it's Joe Strummer, and he's like, "Hey guys, can I play some songs?" And they would just sit around the campfire. He's like, "Here's a song I wrote," and they would just like play songs and hang out. Things like that. So what I'm getting at is, even though sometimes people go into music or arts and they have like a dark motive, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, that sometimes within their lyrics you'll find these little gems. You know what I mean? I don't know. Sorry for the rant, but that is what this is. So to Justin Marler's point about weaning himself off, yeah, I've kind of done that with some artists, and some artists I'm just looking deeper into what's in their head. Another good example is Zappa. I give that example a lot, all the time. What's up, Mella? Mella's in the house. Post is in the house. What's up, Post? Post and I are going back and forth and working on a possible track for Buck Johnson's show as an intro track. Just going to get some stuff done. I think I saw Mirror Chuck up in here too. Yeah, there you go. What's up, bud? Good to see you, man. If you're just tuning in, it's going to be just total rants. Just whatevers, jumping back and forth. But before we do that, for those going to Vespers tonight who have the ability to go to Vespers because they have a church nearby, seriously, I want to go to church. And I don't have one. So you have one, go there, do that. And let's see, where is that?
What are they doing in heaven today?
Both Texas
I don't know, boy, but it's my
and
business
Christ
to
being
stay
represented
here
right
and
here.
about it.
Washington Phillips.
What are they doing in heaven today? Why, sin and sorrow are all done away. Peace is bound like the river, they say. What are they doing right now? I'm thinking of friends whom I used to know, who lived and suffered in this world below. But they're gone up to heaven, but I want to know.
I love this song, it's so good.
What are they doing right now? Oh, what are they doing in heaven today? Why, sin and sorrow are all done away. Peace is bound like the river, they say. But what are they doing right now? There's some.
Oh man, Washington Phillips. It's not an SOS radio, so I don't know if I should let it play because I want to listen to this. Maybe we'll just listen to it.
To the cross with trembling and fear. But what are they doing there now? What are they doing in heaven today? Why, sin and sorrow are all done away. Oh, peace is bound like the river, they say. But what are they doing now?
So yesterday, Manny and myself, we went for a coffee with a couple from the U.S. originally. They're here on a mission, coincidentally enough, very similar. We're working on similar projects. Let's say, again, coincidentally enough, providentially enough, they were at St. Maximus the Confessor last year in the summer, and our dear brothers Germanus and Dave Sims put us in contact. Apparently, the Bishop Gerasim had brought them by when they were in Texas, and their whole thing was that they were trying to do a mission to Mexico, in Mexico here. We finally met yesterday. So a couple things are providential about this whole story. Number one, Denton, Texas. Number two, that they came to the exact place that we're at in Querétaro. But keep in mind, part of this Mano and Vanny story is that we went from Puerto Vallarta to here not that long ago, not knowing really why we're here, and then they're here doing this mission. And we had a really great conversation. It was amazing to be around Orthodox people here in Mexico. I think that's the first time. Yeah, that's the first time we've met up with Orthodox people here in Mexico. And great conversation. And one of the I don't want to say his name or whatever, because he really got me thinking a lot about, we were just talking about the faith, how they came to the faith, what he's learned along the way. Like, he was just a wealth of knowledge. So I just sat there quiet, myself and Manny, and we just like learned and listened to what he was saying. And he was really, we're talking about death and the perfect, like living your life. How did he put it? Manny, do you remember how he put it? Living your life for the perfect death? Something like that. And that image stuck in my mind. I know I've heard it, and we've discussed it a lot, and it is a pivot point amongst Orthodox Christians. Of course, Justin, if he's still in the house, speaks of it often. Justin Marlar, I'm referring to, in The Art Unseen Warfare, a fantastic book of his. Youth of the Apocalypse is, of course, I mean, it's a common thing. It's a big part of Orthodoxy. I remember all the older generation in Cyprus, my grandfather and his crew, memento mori, absolutely memento mori. I remember my grandfather and his crew of old, delightful, beautiful Cypriot gentlemen sitting at a coffee shop in our little village there, and I'm just sitting there as a little kid listening to them talking. His little crew, I like to look at it and talk about it that way as if it's a crew. They were very devout. Majority of their conversations as they would have coffee, and by the way, in Greece, I'm sure many countries, but in Greece, it's like it's a huge part of the culture that, you know, at certain parts of the day, you just stop, go to the coffee shop, order a Greek coffee, sit down, have that coffee with a coffee, glass of water, and a conversation. It's like just way of life there. It was. I don't know if it still is. So I would go with my grandfather for his coffee, and he'd meet up there with his buddies, and I would say 90% of the time they'd be talking, well, maybe 70% of the time they'd be talking about the church, our faith, and 30% of the time they'd be talking about farming and their families, because they were all farmers. And they would discuss like things that they would think about while they work. Like, I remember this one conversation where they were just sitting around discussing what do they think about while they're working. Again, they're farmers, right? So, you know, while they're doing their farming thing, what's on their mind? What are they thinking about? And a lot of times they would be talking about death and like preparation for it. I remember when I got older and I got more into the occult stuff, so I was thinking of it more in terms of like the Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and blah, 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 which, again, I don't see things that way anymore, of course. But the interesting point is that the opposing side of our side, the not God side of our side, the demonic side, as it disguises itself, it'll often use very similar thoughts and ideologies that we have, but except it'll just change the reference point. Of course, it won't be towards God and Christ and Trinity and all that, and how we see things. They would be obviously in self-deification or some sort of pagan worship, that kind of thing. And you see that very prevalent amongst the Egyptians with the Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, or the Tibetan Book of the Dead. They are living their lives in preparation for death. From our point of view, and it's very, very important to see the comparison, compare them, but then also, correct it and say, well, we're doing it from the point of view of our faith and using Christ as an example and all of that, and contemplating death on a regular. Yeah. So back to the conversation with I'm just totally with the conversation with that gentleman yesterday. It was great because you could see how much thought he's put into it, his life in preparation for death. And I was like, I was amazed because you could see he's really put a lot of time and effort into thinking about how to die well. And anyways, that rattled in my mind all night, how to die well. And I don't know, I started bubbling up ideas for a new song. I don't play my music often here. It's interesting because a couple people in the audience have been sending me my music, which is cool and makes me feel uncomfortable. But anyways, yeah, definitely something that I've been thinking about, and because I've been writing stuff again. And also kind of going back and tying in the comment earlier about having to wean yourself off of punk and metal, as Justin said, or just kind of bands like that. It's been weird trying to get back into writing and creating things now that I've come back to the faith, because I just don't know how to approach it. So anyways, that little thing he said yesterday to me, dying well and all that stuff, really got me thinking about maybe incorporating some of that in my writing. Anyway, I don't know. That's all I got right there. What's everybody saying, man? You guys want me to jabber about something specific? Like I said earlier, if you didn't catch the beginning, basically I was having a strange Wednesday on a physical, mental, and spiritual level. Wasn't feeling not bad or good, just kind of like how you see me now, just rambling, talking about this, trying to plan for the future with the show and things in Texas and all that stuff, feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the massive amount of work that we have in front of us that we're trying to pull off and all that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to jump online and see what happens if I just start jabbering in a phone. And a bunch of you guys are here, so that's pretty cool. Screwed Up Text is asking, are you in Houston area? No, he's in Denton, as he already mentions lower. Yeah, you never told... Where we got there? You never told us how to properly cook pork chop. Who, me? How to cook a pork chop? What's up, Orthodox? Dogface is in the house. Takes time to figure out how to approach it again, Timothy says. It does. I did even write, I wrote quite a few things last year. Just... stuff that I like. One thing I'm avoiding two things. One, if I'm writing a song that I have written a few current, a few in 2024 where it's I don't this is gonna sound like I'm criticizing or judging. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying this is not the approach I want to take. Just like the show, I'm trying not to exactly do what everyone else is doing. It's always been my style. I've always been like that. But also because I like to push myself creatively, and since I have no problem taking risks, and I don't really care the consequences of risks. It's my style of how to create. So one of the things I don't want to do is just write a song that's like a Christian song for the sake of a Christian song, and then waving a Christian flag and then making it like a thing. I don't want to be doing that. so the way I approached a couple of the songs I wrote last year were more of like the struggle. I also don't think of the songs I'm writing. They just kind of happen. I don't know how to explain it. Musicians might know what I'm talking about. Some musicians for sure. Neil from Dirt Poor Robins, when we were doing that live stream and we were going back and forth on songwriting, his songwriting style is very similar to mine. And usually it's just like, I bust out some melodies and then like on my guitar, and then I'll just start mumbling words, and usually they're just like not real words, and then they turn into some words, and then the words turn into phrases, and then all of a sudden it'll connect it to things in my head, things I've been thinking about or reading about. It could be something that, just like that term he used yesterday, the guy I was talking to about dying well and stuff like that, and all of a sudden the words start to turn into things, and then all of a sudden I sit back, and there's a song, and I look at it, and I didn't really think of any of it, and then when I read it, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's interesting. Like, and then I start learning from my own inner workings. Anyways, that's kind of how I write. So some of the things I was writing last year was just like the, just like battling, like spiritual warfare, but not to say cliche either. Like I'm just my struggles with certain situations and how I was trying to deal with it, and how I'm currently still trying to deal with it, and like stuff like that. So yeah, it does take a while, Timothy, to figure out the approach. I think I'm also overthinking it too. I think I'm overthinking it. I think that's what it is. But whatever, it is what it is. Girl Hack says, is there any good Christian punk bands though? JW. Who's JW? Am I missing who JW is? I got a Christian punk band for you right now. I'll play right now. All right, music is the same way. I write music the same way. Yeah. Here, they're not Orthodox. I do like this song. This is good. This is good. The deal.
You gotta face the world. You gotta rise up. That's how you say you gotta face the world. You gotta rise up. That's how you say you gotta face the world. You gotta rise up. That's how you say you gotta face the world. You gotta rise up. Everybody take a stand. And the ruined lines ain't walking around singing who it made up power. There'll be signs in the sun when the opening comes and the clap with glory and power. Which I may ask, would you rather be on with the time we're drawing near? I say take my advice and don't give in to the lies. Show them there's no way we fail. I wanna fight together, say. I wanna sing it around you.
It's sick.
I wanna fight together, say.
It's like actual punk. One thing I gotta say is you guys probably all assume that I know a lot about music. I really, truly don't. I think I have mentioned this a couple times, but I really want to make a point of this. I really don't. So like when I sit down with Buck soon and we're having a beer and he's just talking about bands, he'll blow me out of the water for sure. David Sims, the guy is encyclopedic when his music knowledge is crazy. Like there's like you could bring up a band like bands I like. I probably couldn't name so many things that like, here's what I mean. Here's a rant for you. So a lot of people, if they're a fan of a band, they know all the albums, they know all the singer, the band members. You mentioned names of there's songs I adore, I don't even know the name of. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know the name of. So I try not to collect data, I would say, or like stats. Not that I try not to. I'm just not that interested in some of those things. I just I know a lot about music in a weirder way, which is kind of like how do I describe this? Music guys know what I'm talking about. Like, when you ever sat, like, it's also one of the reasons why I don't. Maybe it's not intentional. It just kind of happens. Is I find that when you listen to too much of a band, or you play cover songs or any of that, and then you go to write, your songs are definitely influenced by that. And there's a influence is fine. Imitation is not. I'm good with inspiration, not imitation. But yeah, what I mean by I don't know a lot about bands or music, like people can ask me like about a lot of bands I play, and I won't be able to name like a whole bunch of their albums, or, they might be like, oh, don't you like this song? And then I'll be like, I don't know what song are you talking about? And like, you play it all the time. And I'm like, oh, and then they'll sing it. I'm like, oh, that song. Yeah. I love that song. So I don't know. I don't gather information the same way everyone else does, I guess. I don't know where that came from, but that's a weird rant. That's a weird rant. It's one thing. Whoa, look at this. I don't ever look at the Instagram stuff, but there's a whole bunch of here props on blazing your own trail. Kyrie Leson says on Instagram. Look at that. I never looked at the Instagram chats. He says, props on blazing your own trail in terms of creativity, but still following the narrow path. Been listening to a lot of Ethiopian jazz. Oh, yeah. Just returned to the U.S. from there. Oh, dude, that's sick, man. That's sick. A lot of those African bands, they're just like crazy. Some of the stuff that's coming out of there from Africa. I'm the same way, Buck says. Look at that. Moldy Apples is in the house. This guy's apples are molded in the most beautiful way possible. What's up, dude? Oh, Denise. What's up? Did I say hi to Denise? I don't know if I did. What's up, Denise? Word to the big bird. I was just going to make a bad joke. If you're just tuning in, this is just a random, I don't have no idea what I'm going to be jabbering about or talking about. I did start off by talking about the bad brains. Because I was like, and every once in a while, so back to the whole how I consume music. Then every once in a while, like an artist or band or whatever will kind of be like a little like a sliver stuck in my brain that I can't get out, and you just keep picking at that sliver, but you just can't pick it out. And then bad brains. I was like, bad brains. The last little while, I was like, bad brains. Why bad brains? What's going on with bad brains in my head? What's going on with bad brains? Was it that I bought the Bad Brains shirt when I was in Toronto? I don't know. So I started doing a little bit more of a deep dive on the Bad Brains. Man, okay, like I maybe even this Sunday I'll do a little Bad Brains history. Really interesting history, man. Really interesting history. Really interesting band. And I'm just kind of obsessed, not just with their music, but them. Listening to Dr. No talk, and then finding out that he actually wanted to be a doctor, hence is why they call him Dr. No. HR, there's a debate as to why his name is HR. If you look it up on Wiki, it'll say human rights. If you look at some other sources, they say, they call it? The hunting rod. The hunting rod, which I think the human rights one makes a little bit more sense, but I can't find any. I can't find HR talking about where HR came from, the name. The human rod or the hunting rod is a little bit of a weird one. The story goes, but I don't know if I'm a fan of this story. So, just saying that is that he would walk around. After he started to kind of realize he had some swag, he could talk to the ladies. He was a big fan of that after he kind of got out of his awkward, shy phase. And apparently, he had game, so he was so good at it that he would walk around with this staff sort of thing, and they called it the hunting rod, because he would look for ladies to chat him up. That's the story. I don't like that one. I don't know. That doesn't sound like his style exactly, and kind of like, if he was going to give himself a name, I couldn't see himself using that as it, like that. He's too creative for that. So human rights makes a lot more sense to me. Yeah. So Bad Brains. Definitely Bad Brains have been on my mind a lot. Hence Bad Brains. Is that a bad joke? I think it is. Music. What is it about music? How would the staff help with that? I'm not going to share that story just yet. Mela. I mean, it's not so bad, but I was kind of like, when I heard that theory, I don't know, it sounds interesting, but I didn't really like it. I don't know, I guess it would kind of help with his like, well, I don't want to give the thought I have, because I don't want to say it out loud, but yeah, I don't know how it helped. Well, Mel, I'm just leaving it at that. You do your own digging. Mr. Walker says, been listening to a lot of classic since around the start of Nativity. Know any Orthodox composers? Ooh. I don't. I'm sure there's plenty. There's got to be a lot of Russian composers that would be Orthodox. I'm sure there's like some Romanian ones out there. I don't know. Actually, I don't listen to a lot of classical music. I like weird stuff. I don't know. Like I don't listen to a lot of classical music. My apologies, Mr. Walker. But Justin Marler says, check out Comitas. Here, let me throw that up. Did I say that correctly? Comitas. Boom. There you go, Mr. Walker. Justin Marler answered your question. Moldy composing. It's a haha joke there. Oh, Mela answered your question as well. Avro Part? Is that a composer? It's been a great surprise for me. Yeah, I didn't mean I did. I should do that. You know what? Okay, one thing, even when I moved away from the faith and, took my little detour, long detour from the faith, I always had Byzantine chants going. Always, my whole life. It's actually, because like I've talked about it before on the show, there's a type of Greek music called rebetika that is heavily influenced by liturgic chanting, Byzantine chanting. Here, I'll give you an example of one. Now, this is not church music. This is a style of Greek blues, but listen to the way he starts off the song. You guys have heard me play this before, but it'll illustrate my point, and you'll see how I'll connect it to the classical stuff in just a second. But it's like right out of a Byzantine church in Greece.
Στο 13 το κελί είμαι φυλακισμένος από τον κόσμο μακριά. Μόνος και ξεχνημένος δεκάτρια το κελί.
Anyways, you guys have heard me play this before. The point I'm making is like because I knew a bunch of like Greek kids and this and that, and in high school, there was like okay, so a lot of guys would start doing the classical music when they were studying or wanted to relax and this and that, blah blah. And then the Greek kids were doing like Byzantine church music for the same sort of thing. I think I fell in that category for sure. So even while I strayed from the faith and took my 20 odd years to come back, I always had Byzantine chants going. Always. Also, I did start playing the first instrument. I did start on guitar for a minute, but then I went to a Greek instrument called bouzouki right after that, right away, and I started learning how to play that style of music, which is, as you've heard me say before, most certainly the Greek version of the blues for sure, from the lyrical content and what they're talking about and singing about, to like even the way it's kind of structured. It's almost like Middle Eastern blues in a lot of ways. Also there is like a strange historical connection. In Louisiana, in New Orleans, actually, I think the oldest church in North America oldest Orthodox church in North America, I believe, is in New Orleans. Shout out to David Sims. We were talking about this on a phone call, and he brought that up. Anyways, so there was a lot of Greek sponge divers, because that was like a big thing in Greece, that moved early on to Louisiana and New Orleans, and they brought with them this style of music, and obviously the taverna, the taverns that they would be in, they'd be playing this style of Greek blues, and there's a couple stories where they would mix with the other musicians in Louisiana. To me, when I hear the blues, I do definitely hear similarities in the style, even how you play it. You may not hear it off that, but Germana says Holy Trinity, New Orleans, Louisiana. Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the one. It is the one. So Germana threw this up. Anyway, so the story goes that a lot of those old Greek dudes and some of the musicians, because that's the beauty of New Orleans. New Orleans is a massive jambalaya of music, and a lot of the musicians there from the kick would always intermingle and play. And it was actually even during like when everything was a little bit more segregated and problematic, musicians would still play with like. European style musicians would play with African style musicians, and the indigenous of the area as well, and all that stuff, and it would all kind of mix together. So it wasn't an uncommon it wasn't like other places and other scenes where when they was segregated, they were segregated, and they had to like kind of like sneak out of their house and go off. Jerry Lee Lewis had to go off and sneak off to see black musicians playing in juke bars and stuff like that. Whereas in New Orleans, it was less segregated in that sense, only for music. So that is one of the I'd like to do a little bit of a research project on that subject for sure. Even Telly Savalas, if you guys are old enough to know who Telly Savalas is, did a documentary on Rebetika, the style of music I just played, in the 70s, and he does also acknowledge that, make that comparison. Also, the director of the amazing reggae movie Rakas, made in the 70s, the director is a Greek guy from Greece who's obsessed with that style of music I just played, who noticed a lot of similarities in how the scene was being built in Kingston, Jamaica, and it was very similar into how the scene was created around that style of music that I just played for you. Also because hold on, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. So he noticed these similarities, and he decides to go to Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. Doesn't speak any English really, never mind understanding patois, and he wanted to make a documentary in Jamaica to kind of capture the scene, the roots culture scene that was popping off, rock style music that was popping off in the mid 70s, post Bob Marley. Of course, we're talking about post Bob Marley. So he gets there and he starts realizing that actually he was going to make this other style of movie, which is like he took all the musicians from that scene and he put them in different roles and he kind of wrote a quick script. My point being is, so back to like my knowledge of music, whatever, that I don't have much of. I love scenes. I really love that. Like I love studying a scene. I love to like study the culture of like an area, and how the music, the fashion, the people congregate, how they do their thing. You know, what zines they created, this and that. Like I really love that. So as you can clearly see, that's kind of what I've touched upon there. Like 3 different scenes, kind of connect them together. Yes, I did it from the perspective of Greek, but there is a connection there in all that stuff. Anyways, that's what I love. I love scenes. I love studying scenes. I love like looking at like how a scene starts. It's in its infancy, what its ideals and thinking behind it was, and then you know the point where it starts to pop off, and then there's like that point where it becomes overly saturated, and then everyone loses their. I don't know. I just love that stuff. I love that stuff. I like seeing what works, what doesn't work. I like seeing how humans get together and they create these scenes. How this comes to be. Definitely, it's awesome. And I also like to see how like a scene starts off organic, grassroots, and really quickly it gets infiltrated either through commerce or other nefarious parties that want to use it for their own agendas. Sorry guys, I don't know. I hope this is okay. This kind of off the cuff rambling. I guess it seems okay. People are still here. Mr. John Connor, the real John Connor, not the fake John Connor. The real John Connor is here. What's up, bud? Hope you're doing all right. Says there's a funny Norm joke about Telly Savalas. First of all, I love Norm. We've been talking a lot about Norm here. Manny and myself, big fan of Norm, Mr. McDonald. Who was also pretty Christian. Obviously, he wasn't Orthodox. Most people don't know that about Mr. McDonald, Norm McDonald. He was a devout Christian. Well, in a Protestant way. Gotta run. See ya, Stevie. Have a good one, brother. Let's see. Anybody else saying anything? No one's saying stuff. Man, I friggin' love Norm, dude. As you should. Norm is awesome. I was even collecting some. I was going to start playing some of it during SOS, but I don't want to get in trouble. Also, I don't know. That's another thing. We were talking about earlier about writing music and how to consume music after coming back to the faith. My sense of humor is gone. Like in that sense, like most of my go-to style is very Norm Macdonald. Even before I knew who Norm Macdonald was, it was like a strange, awkward, weird, crass style humor. So yeah, trying to like be funny again, it's been interesting. Last year was interesting, trying to figure all this stuff out as I speak to you guys weekly and share my thoughts on my weird journey back to the faith. Oh boy. What else we got? Bad. Oh. Sorry, just looking. I thought I had something here. Norm definitely had the best delivery and timing. He did, and I love the fact that Norm loved it when he bombed the show, you know, and I like telling jokes that other people don't get. I love that. I've always done. I love that he does that, and it's like, I guess that's how I create stuff, generally speaking. And I don't mean this in a good way. I mean, because honestly, I wouldn't recommend it if you want notoriety of any sense of the word. I always just chased like a raw style of creativity. So even my music's oftentimes, not oftentimes, almost always, it's like off. It's like broken. I like that, and I like not doing things like if something becomes too popular, I usually walk away from it, that kind of thing. But back to Norm, I get exactly why he loves telling those jokes no one gets. I love it, especially when he would start these types of jokes, and then it took a while for people to catch on what his sense of humor was like and what a joke is to him, and then all of a sudden later it becomes like a trendy thing, and then he's already switched and turned into another. So it's like you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the people. Like the audience doesn't even get it. You're so far ahead. He didn't care. He would just continue doing his weird thing. And it was often said that when he would bomb a show, and like people didn't laugh or whatever, and supposedly a bomb, he would stand at the door as everyone was leaving and shake their hands. Like, so awesome. He would love it. He would just sit there shaking their hands. Real John Carter says, man, oh yeah, there's a few people I can't really listen to anymore. Some jokes I can't partake in anymore. I know. Pops is it Andrew Dice Clay? Oh, Pops talking about Real John Connor, Andrew Dice Clay kind of fella. Yeah, I'm definitely not Dice. I mean, when I was super young, it was good because it was like kind of shock value stuff. But then later, I was like, these are just dumb jokes. Like there were some Norm jokes I was telling Manny, and they were like hilarious. I just can't play them here. I'm not reading that comment. Okay. All right. I don't know what else to do here, guys. Is it almost 5 here? What are you guys up to today? I gotta cook the fast meal because we're fasting today. So I gotta go cook the meal with no animal stuffs in it. You know what I mean? I heard he likes Sam Kinison too. Mr. Kinison's a little bit of a different one for me. Shrimps. Yeah. Me too, Germanus. Me too. I'm sick of lentils. Okay. So Mela's making lentils. Germanus is having some shrimp. We're having both of those. So we're having lentil stew. And then I'm doing a shrimp fried rice minus the eggs and minus the massive amount of lard. Because I like lard, cooking with lard. Man, there was something I did want to say. Sorry, I just totally went off. Well, there was one thing I did want to play, but Justin Marler's in the two things I wanted to play, and two of the people that I want are in the group, so I don't want to play it because like they're here. One was something with Buck that we had done back in the day, and I was just like, I was watching some of the conversation we had because I was like working on some ideas, and then Justin Marler performing acoustic, which is sick. But I'm not gonna play it now because it's cheesy. They're like right here. It's why I don't play my music. I only play my music when people send me messages like, "Yo, play this or play that." By the way, thanks Moldy for throwing one of my tracks in the group. Was interesting. Moldy went back to the old videos I did playing music. Justin Marler, haha. Do you know what video I would be playing, Justin? I don't think he does. What I was gonna do. I'm preparing an Orthodox radio because we haven't done one in a while at all. And those are my favorites. Justin says no, so you might have to tune into that episode, Justin. I don't know. Maybe I'll flash it on the screen real quick. Germana says no as well. I leave no man or stone unturned. So Moldy, you've gone back and looked at all my classics. Anyways, I'm gonna do Ortho Radio soon. I really want to do one now that I also have a bunch of new Orthodox musicians to add to the list, as well as some of our beloved Orthodox musicians, including priests, unreleased tracks that I have of some. I want to play that. So I was gonna show. Okay, I'll give you a hint, Justin. It's a song that it's a hymn that you didn't write, that Johnny Cash also played. He's probably like, still doesn't know. Here, let me show you. I'll just play it now since he's. And the Buck one, what I was gonna play was when Buck and I did our Rancid Out Come the Wolves episode. If anyone caught that one, we definitely, of course, had that actually, to the point we were talking about earlier about music and discernment and not knowing what to play and weaning yourself off. I'll show you, Justin, don't worry. That episode that Buck and I did on Out Come the Wolves. We just did like a little Rancid, talked a little bit about Gilman Street, quite a bit. Rancid, that album, its impact, and blah blah blah. We also had a conversation about orthodoxy, obviously interwoven throughout the whole thing, and it was organic. It fit really well. So that's why I was watching that clip. I'll play that as well. Let me see, Mr. Marler. I'll find it. Yeah, I guess you guys can't get any more DIY punk rock than this show in the sense that it's just jabbering. It's like, whatever, just do it. Don't think about it. Just go for it. Definitely this episode. Where is it, sir? He doesn't even know what I'm talking about. I also love doing... Where is it? I always have it handy. Now that I want to show it, it's not here. I have Al Cisnero. That's not it. Where is it? Come on, man. Are you kidding me? There it is. Because I had it up and I took it down. This is the one. Because I love it.
Releasing an album called Hymns for the Apocalypse. It is to raise funds for our sister church and diocese in Syria. I'm going to give you a sample from that album.
Remember this, Justin?
There are loved ones in the glory whose dear forms you often miss. When you close your earthly story, will you join them in their bliss? Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by?
I did,
it's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
There you go. I dig. For those that don't know, I dig. I like to research and find stuff. As if you guys recall, I've done that with a few of my guests. I've done that with a few of my guests. You know, like this guy over here that's commenting. Found his first band. Oh no, not his first band, but like from back in the day. Apparently, it was hard to find, but I found Buck's band from like early in the day, because we did that interview, the first interview, and he mentioned the name, and I went hunting. I like to hunt. I like to hunt. Anyways, yeah. So they're both in the. Well, since I did the Marler one, I'll do the Rancid one. Actually, no, it's just getting weird. I'll play it. I'll play it for SOS Radio because I want to have Buck back on again. I have a bunch of guys I want to talk music with. I'll keep it on the DL. I haven't planned out. I'm definitely struggling with that. There's so many people I want to interview, so many people I've sent requests to, some people I haven't, and they all said yes, and I just have like this. I don't even know where to start. There's just so much work to do. I don't even know what to start with, what to put aside. Sorry, that's just me. Like rant. So, I was reading. I was re-listening to parts of Elder Thaddeus's book. Again yesterday, and St. Paisio's Spiritual Struggle, Volume 3. Those two back and forth through the whole day, because they're dealing a lot with thoughts, what we would call secular people psychology, but obviously they don't mean it. They mean like from an Orthodox perspective, thoughts, logismi, what thoughts are yours, which ones are not, all of those types of things, just like that, the inner world, the mental aspect of faith and how to deal with some of the stuff. And one thing I know I do a lot, I'm sure we all do, is like I'm always worrying about, and I get like I do go through these phases of super procrastination and then like massive amounts of work, and I do this ebb and flow thing, and I try to figure out what puts me in this procrastination thing from an Orthodox perspective. So of course, Elder Thaddeus points out really well that, and Saint Paisios as well mentions it, that concern yourself with what you can get done today, and then leave tomorrow's worries there. Don't obsess over them and all that stuff. And if it's like a huge obstacle, a huge task in front of you, a massive project like what we're trying to do, don't think about the whole thing, because it's going to freak you out. It's going to create some serious anxiety, and you can clearly see it in my voice right now, and panic, just like sheer panic, and kind of leave that with God. Just be like, okay, tomorrow today I can do these 5 things, I can cross those off my list, and they'll help me get to that bigger goal that I have in mind and that bigger task in front of me. But let's not think about that right now, because it's going to freak you out, mano. And then you're not going to get anything done, mano. And then you're going to be stuck in like this analysis paralysis thing, mano. And then you're going to start procrastinating, mano. And then when you start doing all that, boredom creeps in. Bored no more. Boredom creeps in. And then when boredom creeps in, then bad habits follow. That's like my breakdown. I'm sure it's like this for a lot of people, but that's certainly mine. That's how it goes. Because I'm not a bored person but when I get into that sort of thing and like a little hamster going around the wheel, then all of a sudden that's when the passions present themselves. And then I have a hard time flipping into a virtue. And then I'm just like stuck in this stank. And I don't mean stank in a good way. Like, I'm not talking about an awesome, like, amazing, funky bass line with that stank. Not that kind of stank. Like the rotting corpse type thing. You know what I mean? And it just drives me nuts. So what I'm getting at is I have a long list of like people I want to interview, conversations I want to have, among all the other bajillion things I want to do. But I brought that up because I started thinking, I wanted to bring a lot more guest DJs on and conversations about that kind of stuff. And I was thinking about a couple of the people that we've had on. We had Jordan from Synaxis Podcast. We had Buck Johnson on from Counterflow. We had who else? Well, we had a bunch of people. Orthodox Outcast was on as a DJ-ish sort of thing. Then we had like our pop-ins, as we started doing again and all that stuff. So anyways, I was just thinking about that and the conversation that we had, Buck and I, on again, I was going to talk about this anyways because there was a couple of things I wanted to talk about on SOS. Not because you're here, Buck. But the breakdown that we did and that conversation that we had after a little bit of the breakdown on Out Come the Wolves, the whole Bay Area scene and all that stuff. Tim and his approach, his life, all that stuff. And then we started talking about orthodoxy and how that all kind of fits together. That happened organically. It wasn't planned as like, okay, we're going to talk about this punk, blah, blah, blah. How can I connect this to orthodoxy, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm going to do this. It wasn't like that. It just came up organically. And I really liked it. And I liked the way that we kind of resolved, at least for me. I don't know how it was for the audience or for Buck, but for me, it resolved some of the, anxiety is not, it seems extreme, not anxiety in that sense, but like that worry, that concern I had on dealing with certain types of genres of music and this and that, and still finding some sort of like the beauty amongst the nastiness. You know what I'm saying? Not that rants, you know what I'm saying. You know where I'm going with this. Back to the, to whatever we're jabbling. Look at this. All the people are jumping in here. Guys, I can't believe you guys are so many people are here. Well, 21 people are here live listening to me jabber about nothing. Welcome, Punchy. Great artwork, Punchy. If you're in our Telegram group, she dropped some awesomeness in that group. And I'll say it now because we're live and I don't have anything else to jabber about. And why not talk about this? Punchy. We're getting close on the site where we'll be onboarding all the people that that are in the Board No More community, and each one of them, those pages will look like their own website, and you can do with it as you will. And we'll have merch stores built into it so that you can put in your own stuff. Again, we don't own your copyrights. Like, we don't own your masters. I know this sounds like a sales pitch, but I just have to get that out of the way. So it doesn't really it's not like we're trying to take your stuff, but it'll save you all the time of setting all that up yourself and doing all that. And then you can benefit from it a bajillion %. So soon that'll be up. And that'll be for everyone that's having problems with Patreon. Anyone else having problems trying to sign up with Again, yesterday I tried to sign up to Buck's Counterflow because I don't have any Patreon. I wanted to jump in on that thing, and it just something's wrong with that stupid site, or maybe it's something with Mexico. I don't know. It's driving me nuts. But I want to solve that by getting rid of Patreon and put everybody on our platforms that we'll build. It'll be, as I said, it's not like you got to pay us anything or anything like that. You'll make more money on there anyways, the way we're setting it up. You'll be more money in your pocket. You'll own your own content and all that. Drives me nuts, Buck. I tried again yesterday. I was so, you guys have a hard time with the not swearing thing? I'm having a hard time with the not swearing thing in the last couple months. I used to swear a lot. Not to say I want to go back to it. I'm just saying, I don't know, just rambling here. Punchy says, and all I got to do is make cool stuff. Yes, Punchy, that's all you got to do. All you got to do is make cool stuff. You'd have to probably, write your own intros and all that type of thing. And then we'll put it up on the Board No More thing. And again, sorry that I have to keep repeating these things. But why not? This is just a rambling stream. Let me give you a little bit of a snapshot of what that would look like. The Board No More website. The Board No More website will be, and forgive me if you've heard this before, my apologies, but I think it helps me to get it out. Father Turbo did suggest to a good friend of mine that, grill Mano so that he can have all this stuff, and be able to ramble it off and explain these massive concepts to people. So I'm going to try again. Board No More. So the website, the way it will work, it'll be kind of like a mixture of Patreon, YouTube, including the YouTube chats, because that's an important one, Twitter, all that stuff in one. And it'll be like a downloadable app. You wouldn't have to use you don't have to use the app. You could do it on thing, whatever. But it would kind of be like your Spotify as well. So all our musicians that we'll have under the Board No More, you'll literally be able to go on there and listen to all those musicians, listen to all that music. Okay, and it'll be kind of like, let's say we're onboarding a podcaster. Okay, so that podcaster, we onboard them. They'll have a layout, so it'll be kind of like putting together a Facebook page, let's say, but cooler, you know what I mean? And that person will kind of build their own site. You can even have their own .com. It'll be like bobspodcast.com. On our end, it'll all be on the same platform. This might sound confusing. To simplify it, basically, we onboard them within the platform itself. A person can subscribe to them, to the channel. They'll have different options. They can either subscribe to the whole network, so you get everybody on the network. If you paid a certain amount for the subscription, you could use fiat money, you could use crypto, and on the back end it'll be transferred automatically. We're working with Cyprian from the Royal Path on how to set this all up. The website will not be able to be taken down by conventional means. So even when they do try to censor people again, that won't be an issue. You'll be able to stream off of that site for the podcaster. The podcaster can have audio streams. They can have video streams. They'll have a built-in store, which will all be part of the whole thing. It'll be their store, and within their merch store, everything will be set up, so they don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about any of that. How do I sign up for this? How do I do that? It'll automatic. You'll be able to see transparency is very important to us. So for all the content creators, even the subscribers, they'll be able to go to an area and see where all the money goes and to who and how and all that stuff. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but oftentimes when you upload a lot of your content to certain platforms, they'll end up taking they'll take ownership of the content, and which is why they can ban you and do this stuff. We won't be any of that stuff. For the musicians, we're not going to be holding any masters or copyrights, as I keep saying, because that's an important thing. Because remember, guys, I did work in the music industry for a bit. I worked for Sony B&G for a little while and all that stuff, and I also worked for a couple of independent record labels, and I saw how their contracts work, and it's ridiculous. So nothing like that at all. There's more facets to this. There'll also be like a messaging service. So instead of, someone goes to Discord, someone goes to Telegram, someone goes to here, someone goes to there, it'll all be in one place. Germanus has his all-night vigil group on Telegram. We have our Board No More network group on Telegram. We're already going to try to hook those up through Telegram if we can, but we're definitely going to be doing it through the Board No More platform. So, and with that, we'll also be incorporating certain things. Like, for example, Germanus had a great idea about like an Orthodox Craigslist. So we'll have that on there, and we can be using currency, the either cryptocurrency or fiat, and you'll be able to make those purchases on online right there with using that sort of thing. I hope I'm not making this confusing for anyone. Mela started a book club, so that all of this kind of stuff will be incorporated into the platform. And again, it'll be like Patreon, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, and all that connected into one. That's kind of what we're trying to do. And we are finalizing the zine right now. In fact, we're working on, right now, we just sent Daniel a couple of things, so we're going to have to send some of the ads to some of the people out there to okay. Anyways, now I'm not making any sense. I know I'm not making any sense because I'm saying stuff without filling in the blanks. Bottom line is the zine is on its way. We're just finalizing the stuff to send to Daniel now. Trying to figure out the physical version of it, how that's going to get out to people, and along with it, the compilation. So again, I repeat this. If anyone knows anywhere in the US of A where I can get vinyl pressed at a good price and CDs, cassettes, any of those three, all those three, definitely I want the vinyl for sure. Please reach out, let me know. I want to get the compilation going right away. And I'm telling you, it's going to be sick. For sure, I know it's going to be sick because if I named the artist, which you've already heard, who's going to be on the compilation, it's a pretty sick thing. So back to Punchy's comment. Yep, as an artist, if you're a podcaster, if you're a musician, if you're all those three things, if you're a writer, whatever, your job will be to make content, and we will put everything on the Board No More platform, and it will just be awesome. What's up, Christina family, Orthodox family life? She has a live stream tomorrow, a premiere. Everyone tune into that tomorrow, Christina's premiere. Manny, do you mind finding that, if you don't mind, and throwing that into the chat? So I don't know. I can't believe people are still around. You guys still around, eh? Wow. Thanks for listening to me talk about nothing. It is 5. I got to get dinner started. So I'm going to probably go another 10, 15 minutes, and then we're going to call it a day. We're calling it a day. And then we're going to put this one for members only. Shang-a-ding-a-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. I know what I want to listen to. It just popped in my mind. I'm going to look it up real quick. Anybody listening to Earl Hooker since we played him 2 weeks ago? Anybody remember who that is? You guys remember? No, that's not what I'm looking for, but anybody remember who that is? Dead air. I hate dead air. You know what I noticed? That a lot of podcast streamers that just like do like random or like just streams, they're not concerned with that. Like things like annoy me. Like for me, I feel like old school radio or like, okay, it's on, you're live. So there shouldn't be any dead air. There should be like, you know, everything should be planned and perfect and pristine. Not that that's how we present ourselves, but you know, so whenever like I tune into other people's streams, like people we love, they'll be like, yeah, so hold on, let me just look. And they're off like just doing their thing for like 5 minutes and everyone's in the chats chatting. I always have to remind myself it's okay to do that because that's what everyone else is doing. And you know me, I like doing what everyone else does because that's how I am. Does that make me sound like a jerk? It sounds a little jerky, but I didn't mean it that way. Now that I said it out loud. Kind of stuck in my head. I love that last on Sunday everyone loved the wave pictures. That's pretty cool. The wave pictures. You guys, anybody here remember the Zootons? That's what I'm looking for. Anybody? Zootons? Anybody know who the Zootons are? Or I don't think they're a band anymore. But I guarantee you know one of their songs. I guarantee you know one of the Zootons songs. That wasn't actually, well, they did popularize it, and then someone else played it later as a cover song.
Myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things what you do, and in my head I make a picture. 'Cause since I've come on home, well my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over and stop making a fool out of me? Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tab. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the
What's going on, everyone? I hope you guys are doing all right today. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay on air. KF is in the house. What's going on, KF? Oh, my. KF's artwork is ridiculous. Can I just say that? KF, your artwork is ridiculous. A mutual friend shared some of it with me. KF is a fantastic artist. Like, seriously.
And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over and stop making a fool out of me? Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie, well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water
Pay attention to the kick drum tone. Listen.
and I think of all the
Right here.
things what you do, and in my head I make a picture.
That tone of that kick drum. That kick drum tone is sick.
Since I've come on home, well my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over and stop making a fool out of me? Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Yeah, the Zootons Amy Winehouse, most certainly one of the greatest. Oh man, when I was actually I bought Back in Black to Back to Black for my daughter Christmas. She definitely is a fan of Amy's. Amy Winehouse. There's a soul that struggled. There's a soul that struggled, and interesting person. Hey, Stephanie's in the house. What's going on? How you doing? How are you? Look at that. There she is. What's going on, man? Yeah, Amy was cool, man. Winehouse, and like you guys have heard me jabber about it every time. I can't bring up Amy without talking about it. She recorded that album at Daptone Records, man, and Daptone Records is one of the sick, man. You guys have heard me jabber about Daptone Records a million times. It's so yeah, and then you could really hear it on that album, man. Like we're talking about the board from Stax. That's the board. It was recorded on the board from Stax Records. So the guys from Daptones bought up all that stuff and they brought it over there, and like that, like man, you could really hear it on that album. Daptone Records. Charles Bradley, also Daptone Records. Do you guys know that one? Okay, since this is like a random jibber jabber or whatever happens. I mean, I can't stop watching this. I've shown this before. I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry, just because I can't stop. This is just a jabber. All of a sudden, you guys got me excited about stuff for no particular reason. I just got excited about like this. Come on, man. This is insane. Please tell me this isn't insane. Here, let me just set this up proper. Let's go. You guys ready? I'm telling you, man. I just want to watch this right here. I'm just going to watch this right here. Steph, this is just totally a random jibber jabber. I wasn't even planning on doing anything today just to catch you up. It's not SOS radio. It's not whatever. I don't even know what it is. Can't even believe people actually are here. I didn't expect that, or actually I was kind of like, oh, I hope I could just jabber and no one will be there. Come on now. Like, tell me this isn't sick, guys. Like, I played this before, and I played 100 times more.
Splatter.
Come on, man.
This man will freeze.
The way this starts is disgusting.
If you will.
It's disgusting.
Let's all welcome the world's
let's go.
godfather of soul.
We'll do it.
Soul brother number one, James Brown.
This right here. Watch this opening. Come on, man. Even if you've seen it before, watch it again. Just come on. Let's look at this. Let's get ready for something. Come on! Look at this! Okay, I gotta rewind that. Let's go back again. Look at this. This is ridiculous. He's just right there. Bam! Just starts off high octane. There's no easing into it. It's like, oh, days. Right? Whew. Anyways, that's my man James. I don't know where that came from. That came out of nowhere. Okay, I'm only playing this because someone asked. Privately. I don't want to play it. Okay. I'll leave it to you guys. Because somebody asked me to play, should I play Village Fool or Levy? Those are, for those that don't know, those are two of my songs. One is a reggae song with my former band. And the other one is solo thing. And Mela's asking, was it moldy? It was not moldy. But Post threw in Levy first, so we'll go with Levy. So this is Levy, which I find going over these lyrics in my head the other day. Okay, all right, we'll do the Levy, and then Denise jumps in with Village Fool. All right, we'll do levy, just because it came up first, and also I was thinking about it the other day because I wrote that song before the 2016 elections, and I made reference to a wall, and everyone thought I was talking about the wall that Trump was talking about building, and I was like, no, that's not what my reference is. It wasn't about the wall. And it was kind of like the word, I did a play on the word levy, although it's like spelt one way. Levy could be like a levy, like a dam that holds up the water, and then a levy could be like a tax. So I was kind of playing on those, like, you know, so I was kind of playing on that and like the world situation we were in at the time, and how certain elite types were keeping information away. So I was using water as a symbol for information, and building a levee to hold the water and dry out the land and create this false, within the song, a false drought. And I was kind of using the idea and concept of information, like actual, truthful, spiritual, like real information. I used the water as a symbol of that. And then basically the way that they were controlling was holding back that. So that was kind of what it was. And everyone thought it was like I was talking about Trump and building a wall. It wasn't that. So I was thinking about that the other day because obviously he's in the news a lot, so that song came to mind. So I'll just play that. Oh, one more thing about the song. If we're gonna play the song, if you're listening to this on speakers, I mean, the bass. I purposely set the bass in a way that I wanted it to rumble your house. So if you have good speakers, or if you have an old school car with a big boom box in the back, it's going to rattle like everything around you. Let's turn up the bass. I like a lot of heavy bass. Big fan of bass and drums. Rhythm section is the most important. Video.
As the travels carried on,
I feel weird listening to this.
through
Weird.
a tapestry of song.
Tapestry of song. I'm just gonna walk away.
Many fell prey to the sound as the others control the ground. Building walls to hold the rain, leaving death out on the plain. Oh, those plants they wouldn't grow. This is the story they have been told. Yeah. Well, I feel the rain. Yes, I see the rain. Oh, Lord. Well, I feel that lovely rain.
All right, that's enough of that. All right, guys. I hope everyone's still here. That's still here. That was here. That is here. Whatever. Hope everyone's good. Look at that. This video is just black. You can't see nothing. Who knows what's going on? It's just like in the dark. Just what's happening. I don't know what's happening. All right, guys. Unless anyone has anything to throw in there, interesting wise. What interesting wise? That doesn't even make sense. I'm gonna comment on. I will. Dig it with a hot spoon. Denise, love this man. Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Post with the fire blasts, the fire flames. Burn up the fire. All right. I think we're good. Is it weird when other people play their music, their own music? Do you guys find that weird, or is it like how they do it? Because one of the inspirations for SOS Radio, obviously you guys already probably know this, is Joe Strummer had an amazing radio show for a bit called London Calling. It was awesome. It was great show, and he would play his stuff often. You just tie it in and make it relevant. And I was like, oh, that's good. I always feel weird though. Like, I always feel weird. But then there's other dudes like that's they play their stuff all the time. I guess that's what you're supposed to do. Is promote your stuff. That what you're supposed to do, guys? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Speaking of which, I gotcha. Anyone answer that? What's that? Why not? Moldy says. Post says. Moldy says, Mano, what do you think about the history of Greece-Turkey relations? Ooh, that's a big one. Well, one of the things I did want to do when I was in Canada, I didn't get a chance to, was I wanted to get my dad to jump on. He won't jump on. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of that stuff. Turkey, Greece, Cyprus, Constantinople, all that stuff. What do I think about it? Did you ask me a massive question on purpose so that I could just ramble for like an hour? Is that what you're doing there, Moldy? I will answer your question. Well, my dad's a hyper nationalist. Hold on, let me read what the was. I think people often feel weird about it. Usually, Mr. Walker says, "Moldy sounds like a setup to a Thanksgiving joke." That's good. That's good. My dad's like a super nationalist, almost blindly so, and I always try to not take that approach. So when it comes to like certain subjects that like this one, I ask myself, well, how would I feel if I was born Turkish? If I wasn't born a Greek Canadian and I was born a Turkish Canadian, how would I feel about this subject, right? Would I still have the opinion I have? Well, I would, I think, for historical reasons. What do I feel about it, Moldy? Well, Turks don't have a very friendly history, let's say. Their list of atrocities is massive. From the inception, from the beginning of the Ottoman Empire. There are 3 days of raping and pillaging of Constantinople after they took the city. Unprecedented style at that level, that brutality. And I think that kind of set the bar high for them, and they try to achieve that height at all times. And their history is completely drenched in blood, genocides, like legitimate, not ones where there's people just throw around that word, and brutal. So like, let me tell you one little thing that isn't exactly about that, but just like something that popped in my head, and it ties in some Orthodox stuff as well. A good friend of mine in Toronto, I don't know if he wants me to mention his name. When I was there, we were at a monastery founded by Elder Ephraim in near Toronto, And then we were just talking about, I was like, I loved that experience of going to that monastery because I saw a lot of Greeks being more traditional, like old school. Because I know we get criticized, rightfully so. We get criticized for being a little bit too liberal. Greeks can be, that jurisdiction. Not all, of course, not all. Like there's a strict divide. Either they're hardcore, old school. A great example I always give of modern time is Metropolitan Neophytos of Morphu. Super hardcore, old school, my grandfather's style, orthodoxy, like, to the root, right? And then you have the hyper liberal situations that we're faced with. And we were talking about this, and at that monastery, I was very pleased to see that it was like old school, like it was when I was a kid in Cyprus. They separated males and females, different sides. Women all had headscarves. Most of the parishioners stood the whole time. Just like that stuff, right? And when I walked out, I was like, that was really refreshing to see that that still exists in Canada amongst Greeks. And then we started talking about the removal of the not like canonically, but the removal of the headscarf amongst Greeks. And then he brought up a really good point, and I looked into it more and asked a few older Greeks, and it turns out that is the case. One of the reasons why Greek ladies stopped kind of wearing it so much in the beginning was because during Ottoman rule, current Turkish rule, when they go to church, they didn't want to look like the rest of the Turks, so they would remove the headscarf for that reason. So I didn't know that, and then when he had mentioned that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. So back to the Turkish Greek relations. Yeah, they're troubled. They will always be troubled. Modern Greeks are a little bit different than the Greeks of even like 20 years down. And Cyprus is a big issue. That's an illegal occupation. I'm not saying that as a Greek Cypriot. I'm saying that as that even if you look at UN law, it's an illegal occupation. They broke a lot of supposed UN rules, which some other countries have also been allowed to break as well. So they're allowed to break certain rules that other countries are allowed to also break. If you know what I'm referring to, there's one in specific. So when the Turks invaded Cyprus in 74, they had previous attempts as well, but in 74 when they did it, one of the things that they did that was breaking UN rules is you can't invade a country and then fill that area with a bunch of people from your native land, let's say. So the Turks invaded Cyprus in 74, and shortly after, because their premise was they were trying to liberate the Turkish Cypriots, because there was always Turkish Cypriots on the island. And there's a distinct difference between a Turkish Cypriot and a Turk. There is a difference. Even the Turkish Cypriots are not big fans originally of the Turks. I don't know how they feel about them now, but I would imagine that's still the case. I'll explain why in just a second. So when Turkey invaded in 74, they obviously converted all the churches to mosques right away. There were mosques on the island from the Turkish Cypriots, but then they did that, and then as well they brought a bunch of native Turks from Turkey to the island, so that it makes it harder for the Greeks to get back their land, and stuff like that. What a way to answer your question, Moldy. What do I think about the history of Greece and Turkey? It's problematic. It will always be problematic. Their Turks' approach to things makes it problematic. They have issues with a lot of other people as well, very similar ones with the Armenians. Armenians and Greeks have a lot in common in terms of the dealings of, with the Turks, with the Ottoman Empire, the Kurds, all of their neighbors. They've been a problem in the region in terms of that stuff. And they do not like Christians, obviously. And my grandfather, on my mother's side, was a refugee from Izmir. They renamed it Izmir. Saint Paisios and many other saints are also from those areas, and they had to leave and evacuate in 1922, I believe it was, because the Greek government and the Turkish government came to an agreement because of a couple of particular events that occurred during World War I. And they came up with an agreement that all the Greeks would leave Turkey and go to Greece from Turkey, and all the Turks from Greece would leave and go to Turkey. There was that agreement. They didn't keep up their end of the bargain. You can tell. You could see just by the stats of the era. Greeks did, and that's how you get the story of Saint Paisios. For all of us that have read the story of Saint Paisios, and sorry, I just have a hard time looking at this. So Saint Arsenios and Saint Paisios, they left from particular parts of nowadays Turkey, and they were part of that exchange. And I just grabbed that icon because my parents brought it back to me from Greece. It was really, it's from Mount Athos. So that story fits in St. Paisios' story of going to the mainland Greece, and the story that you guys know. I mean, obviously, everyone probably knows the story of St. Paisios, but that was from that era, from that time period where they were doing the exchange, where they had to make that exchange from Turkey, Turkey to Greece, and the Turks from. So the whole thing with Cyprus was also tied in with that, and Cyprus is a major chess piece in a political sense in the Mediterranean. It's kind of like the Cuba of the Mediterranean, similar to the Cuban Missile Crisis and all that stuff. So to answer your question about Turkey, and wow, this is a weird stream. Denise says, aren't the Turks pretty brutal? Oh yeah. Okay, it's so much so that one of the things that I don't want to get too political here, but that guy during World War II, some of our Orthodox brothers and sisters call him Tiny Mustache Man, was quoted saying that nobody remembers the Armenian Greek genocide. He was referring to the Turkish slaughter of Greeks, Armenians, Greeks, and Kurds in 1914-15, around there, yeah. The Armenian genocide, everyone knows that one. They were all slaughtered at the same time. And that guy, the German guy, was quoted as saying, no one remembers that. They won't remember what happened there, World War II stuff. I'm not getting political on that. What? There's a Jim Bob raid? Oh, I'm finishing this up. I wasn't even going to do... If there's going to be a Jim Bob raid, I have to put good content out. This is just me jabbering. Oh, man. What's going on, everyone? What's up? Big thanks to Jim Bob. I totally didn't think we were going to be doing this because we were just ending it. But now everyone's come here. So you know what? Since everyone's flooding in, big thanks and love to Jim Bob for sending everyone over. Much obliged. Love you, brother. Thank you so much. We were just doing a rambling, jabbering, whatever podcast episode where we just talk about nothing. It wasn't a proper SOS radio. It wasn't a proper, thing. So for you guys, I've never tuned into SOS radio or any of that stuff. That's not what this is. But since you're here, and since most of you are probably Orthodox, and if you're not Orthodox, you're ortho-curious. And if you're not ortho-curious, you should be ortho-curious. Because you're here. Because you guys joining us. And because Jim Bob sent you. First of all, we should throw up the Jim Bob video, Manny. Jim Bob's backing of our show of SOS Radio. But since you guys are all flooding in, let's go with some Orthodox content, boys and girls. If you guys don't know, now you know type of scenario. let's start with, because you know what? If you've never tuned into what we do here at SOS Radio, and this is not SOS Radio, if you're just tuning in, we play a lot of Orthodox musicians that are amazing and ridiculously great. And yeah, that's what we're going to do right now. See this? Off the cuff. I don't even know what I'm doing. Let's do this right. Let's do this right. Are people still here? Father Turbo joint. Okay. After this, I'll play a Father Turbo song for sure. For sure. Well, that was already going to be, on the... Let's just do it. We were going to do an SOS Radio, but we're doing an SOS Radio because our dear brother Jim Bob, just rated us. Thank you so much. Let's go. Justin Marler, Quicken the Dead. Let's go.
The sun is slowly sinking. The day is almost gone. Still darkness falls around us. And we must journey on.
Let's go!
Darkest hour is just before the dawn. The narrow way leads home. Lay down your soul at Jesus' feet. The darkest hour is just before the dawn.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Like a shepherd out on the mountain, watching the sheep down below. He's coming back to claim us. Will you be ready to go? Go! 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 The darkest hour is just before the dawn. The narrow way leads home. Lay down your soul at Jesus' feet. The darkest hour is just before the dawn. He's coming back to claim us. He's coming back to claim us. He's coming
Right here. If you guys don't know what this is, it's Justin Marler, Quicken the Dead.
The darkest hour is just before the dawn. The narrow way leads home. Lay down your soul at Jesus' feet. The darkest hour is just before the dawn. The darkest hour is just before the dawn. The narrow way leads home. Lay down your soul at Jesus' feet. The darkest hour is just before the dawn. The darkest hour is just before the dawn.
For everyone that just came over from Jim Bob's feed and raid, thank you so much for joining us. I wasn't going to do a proper SOS Radio. This wasn't even a proper stream. It was just a whatever. So since you guys have joined us, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sample of SOS Radio. Now, if you don't know what that was that you just heard, what just got into your head and hopefully into your heart, that was Justin Marler's project, The Quick and the Dead. And it's a staple on the show, as are a lot of other Orthodox musicians that are part of our community, part of our online thing that you might not even know are awesome musicians. For example, I'm going to play some Father Turbo unreleased track. He's got a whack of them, and we will be releasing some unreleased Father Turbo stuff soon, and a bunch of other amazing musicians that you guys know, and some of you guys may not know that they make music, but they certainly do. And here we go. Here's one of my favorites. I play this one a lot, this song of Father Turbo's. It's also because I like to tease the other songs and not play them all at once. And you'll be like, yo, can you play some other Father Turbo stuff that you have? Because I got I would say about 30 songs in my back pocket. We also play some... I'm just going to play this. Trust me. If you don't know who Father Turbo is, I mean, right? Right? You got to know. I'm assuming if you're coming over from Jim Bob's feed, you do know who Father Turbo is. Father Turbo here. Father Turbo is on bass. Father Turbo's on backups. Father Turbo wrote the song, and it's just ridiculously great. Father Turbo. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, Father Turbo. Prepare for battle. Wait till you get to the breakdown, boys and girls. Wait till the breakdown. Bum, 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 bum. Watch right here. Check this out. Check this out. Prepare yourself. Get ready. Right here. Right? That breakdown, man. That breakdown, man. That flute just kicks in there. Like, what's going on? Oh, Mr. Mirichuk.
Uncontrollable passion. Only the songs who can save you.
Yes, this is a Father Turbo track. It is not him on vocals. Father Turbo is on bass. Father Turbo wrote the song, and Father Turbo is on backups. So let Father Turbo know that you like it. Oh yeah. So for you guys didn't catch that, that was a Father Turbo track, unreleased. It will soon be released once we get our acts together and figure out a few things that are missing in our puzzle. We're putting this puzzle together. And for those of you guys don't know, you're tuned into SOS Radio, kind of, sort of. It wasn't meant to be, but it is now. So we'll just call it SOS Radio. Usually SOS Radio is done on Sunday nights, and Sunday nights we do a proper SOS Radio where we play... It's like an old school radio show with lots of Orthodox content. So back to the point. We will be putting out some unreleased Father Turbo tracks very soon on a bunch of other Orthodox artists that you guys probably know from the chats, that you guys might know from just like, you know, being in the orthosphere, is whatever you want to call it. Post Feedum, Gene Reeves, Father Turbo. We just played Doug Burr. Some Justin Marler, and all kinds of stuff like that. It's all kinds of stuff like that. I just see a whole whack of people up in here. Thanks to Jim Bob for the raid. Much obliged. We got a bunch of new names, so I'm just going to call them out and see who's up in this place. Nico, what's up, man? Oh, Tech Noir. What up, cuz? Good to see you. The Cheap Chimp. That's a cool name. I haven't seen that name before. And a whole whack of other people. Mirichuk's joined us. And a whole bajabs. RIP's in the house. What's up, son? How goes it? yeah. So basically today it was just a free form, just a jibber jabber. I keep saying that because I'm just like, all these new people are here, never heard the show before, and they're just like, yo, what's the show all about? This is kind of just a random thing, but normally we do something a little bit different. So so let's see, what does it say? So like, what's up with the spoon? Anyone in the chats want to let Darth Grumpy Dad know what's up with the spoon? It started off as like a random, like, weird thing, and then it turned into like the symbol, and it turned into like the whole thing, and then here's the spoon. That's the spoon right there. Impromptu SOS radio rocking. Yeah, kind of. It went from a jabber session to like a whatever session to like radio thing to like some music history to like SOS radio. We got rated by Jim Bob, so it's it's flooded, and in a good way. People have never heard the show before. Or seen the show. This isn't it. This is just totally impromptu, as our dear brother Alexander Walker has just mentioned here. If you're just tuning in, you just missed some Father Turbo tracks. Play some more in a bit. Some more
Give me no glory.
Orthodox artists that make some awesome music. This is kind of SOS radio.
New age. Don't lose composure over this.
An Orthodox brother.
Apologize in advance.
Anyone know who it is? Come on, man. Anyone know who this is? An Orthodox brother.
I'm as guilty as it gets. Sorry for the mess. This vessel is too heavy to reach heaven with a stretch. If drama's a brand and a product, I finally understand why the devil wears Prada. It's a different sect that gets this Christian bothered. Your definition of woke is conflicted. You in pajamas. I'm no underground, but I've been on a crazy path. So I contemplate the past like it's complicated math in this geometric matrix. Even lies can be sacred if you add a third eye to the equation. I'm just saying that the truth can be debated, but a fruit's the same shape regardless what we name it. I'm not a vegan racist, a vegetationist. Y'all just switch the label on the bacon and then label that awakened. It's more than just the flavor. One of us mistaken, I can taste it. Let's see. Ancient stardust that evolved into a waitress who used to be an 8, but now she's smart, it's complicated. Okay, get rid of God. I don't wanna be created. Get creative and persuade myself I am a god. And I'ma live forever on the basis that my consciousness is raising through this convalescent maze with my depression trying to chase me. Sitting cross-legged, all 7 chakras activated, humming mantras, lighting sage, and nothing's changing. Well, maybe if I rearrange my DNA, then we can say I made it. Now my body's holographic, but I was already faded. Cause we all feel fear when the end is near, and we run to the one as we lost. Hey, found God.
Yo.
And forgot to take a picture. It seems sort of.
If you didn't know, now you know. There's a lot of amazing Orthodox musicians out there. Amazing artists of all types.
Exposing this occult culture's motives like I need to meet a quota. You can
and that's just what we're gonna do right now.
Sugarcoat it. Blow out your candles cause you
it's kind of turned into ortho radio.
Ortho radio. I'm on the fence if offensive, but still I'm zen enough to spin a cinder block on the pencil to pen the gospel. Flipping through epistles, which apostle got the wisdom? Cause I tend to view the system like Picasso drew the picture. Everything is sideways, and I'm not saying that I'm always right, but I've been right lately. Hey, how's this? If Hades means pain, if I didn't have love, then I wouldn't say a thing. I'm a slave and he the king, he's the truth, he's the way. I'm just doing everything I can to help you see the same. Sanctify me, and this lyricism.
Yo, if you don't know what the SOS radio is all about, if you don't know what it is that we do on SOS podcast even, basically we try to re-engineer their social engineering, take the malachias that they've done to us, the they, you can fill in the blanks on who the theys is, who culture creates, who socially engineer and guide us and nudge us into a dark place, into a place to re-engineer our way, our thinking, to take us away from our natural way of being, created in the image and likeness of God. They want to move us further and further away from that for a number of different reasons. And we all know what those are because we're an intelligent audience. And what we like to do is re-engineer their social engineering and add art and music and all that stuff to flip it on them. Put out good content, good entertainment, let's say, and flip the script.
Beard, thank you. Shout out to Study of Stuff. Go follow Study of Stuff. Has some fun streams. You never know what's going to be the topic. It could be obscure punk music. It could be obscure punk accordion music or theology.
One of the greatest cover songs of all time. I hate the actual song, but this is good.
Change your mind like a girl.
Change his clothes.
Change your like a beach. I don't know. And you always think, always speak critically. I should know that you're no good for me. Cause your heart and your cold, your yes and your no, your in and your out, your up and your down, your only needs right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. You don't really wanna stay, no, you don't really wanna go. Oh, your heart and your cold, your yes and your no, your in and your out, your up and your down.
This one's going out to Jim Bob. To Jim Bob and the accordion. Obscure punk music.
Sure, change your mind, like a girl, change his clothes, change your PMS, like a beach, I don't know. And you always sing, always speak critically. I should know that you're no good for me. Cause your heart and your cold, your yes and your no, your in and your out, your up and your down, your wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. You don't really wanna stay, no, you don't really wanna go. Oh, your heart and your cold, your yes and your no, your in and your out, your up and your down.
This is the best part. Right here, this is the best part, man. Check this out. This is the bombest part. Listen, listen.
Someone call the doctor. Got a case of a love bipolar. Stuck on a roller coaster. Can't get on this ride.
Yo!
Change your mind like a girl changes clothes. Your heart and your cold, your yes and your no, your in and your out, your up and your down, your wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. You don't really wanna stay, no, you don't really wanna go. Oh, your heart and your cold, your yes and your no, your in and your out, your up and your down, your heart and your cold, your yes and your no, your in and your out, your up and your down, you're wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. You don't really wanna stay, no, you don't really wanna go. Oh, your heart and your cold, your yes and your no, your in and your out, your up and your down.
Oh, my dear brothers and sisters, that was Los Colorodos. They are Ukrainian, so I'm not sure, but they could be Orthodox, but I don't know. I do know. I know what kind, because we're talking about the Ukraine. But anyways, if you just tuned in for the very first time and you've never experienced an SOS radio or an SOS podcast, this isn't exactly it. This was intended to be just some rambling, jibber-jabbering, just whatever. I was having one of those days. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do something not dumb, and I'm gonna go online. Because basically I was having one of those days where I was just feeling like, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, and that's okay. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to see what's going on online, and I just turned this thing on and started jibber jabbering. But then all of a sudden, it was getting interesting. A lot of cool people in the chats. We were talking music. We were talking about history. We were talking about bad brains. We talked about the bad brains. If you don't know bad brains, I mean, come on, you got to know bad brains. Maybe we'll play some right now, right? We talked about that. We talked about church. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. And then we started playing some Orthodox music, Orthodox musicians. And then all of a sudden we got raided. We got raided by Jim Bob. Jim Bob raided us. And I was like, okay, let's turn this into kind of an SOS radio. Why I'm saying all this, if you've never checked out an SOS radio episode, tune in Sundays. That's when we do the SOS proper. And we do play a lot of Orthodox content. Speaking of which, here's one of our very own within our own Board No More community. Our dear brother Post. He's in the chats. Say what's up to Post if you liked us.
I'm receiving lessons from the other side, not believing anything I haven't tried. I've been focused on anything but my own life. Tons of pressure crushing my brain from every side. I hear the rain pouring, I'm beginning to like that sound. Cause on the dark days I pray to carry me through. I'm giving out warnings, cause heaven knows I've been down. And evil leading me away from the truth. Every day and my call sign is IDK when I'm online. All damn day I'm the fall guy. Take my eyes, I'm invested in all ways at all times. I'm here.
I messed that one up.
Send it all away. Send it all away. Send it all away.
It's easier when you do it off words, right? Than
Giving out warnings, giving out warnings. I hear the rain pouring, I'm beginning to like that sound. Cause on the dark days I pray to carry me through. I'm giving out warnings, cause heaven knows I've been down. And evil leading me away from the truth.
That's our dear brother, Post Feed him. He's in the chat. Say what's up. Go follow his stuff. Go check him out on Spotify. He's got a whole whack of stuff coming down the pipeline. We will be also helping back him on Board No More Network. We will be putting that out on our record label soon to come. Our zines soon to come. All of which is, and I say this all the time for all those new people in the room, we do not own people's copyrights. We do not own their masters. We'll just be putting out some good content. That's all it's about. Also, Post and I will be, hold on, my laptop's about to die, and that would be a bad thing right now. All right. Another thing is Post and I are working on a little bit of an intro track for Counterflow, for Buck. We're going back and forth on that. Let's do this. Okay, boys and girls, let's go.
The conscience that has witnessed everything that we have done, everything that we have said, every thought that we have harbored, every fantasy that we have chased and allowed to develop within us. conscience will speak before God, naming every one of our sins. And so, we must live in preparation for this judgment. We must listen to the voice of our conscience now, in this life, while there is time. The demons
Why is it pausing like that?
work above all to distract us now.
Is that on our end? So the viewer is seeing that pause? Uh-oh. Man, do I have to put up on...
We live in a world, in a time when
What is happening? Why is it doing that? Hold on. I'm going to find it.
both man and the God.
Come on, man. Hold on. That just got ruined. Let me find that proper because that's ridiculous. Why did it do that? Do you know, Manny? Sorry, guys. Man, that was just building so nicely. Give me a second here, man. Let me find it real quick now. This is getting sloppy. Sorry, guys, for those of you that have never watched SOS Radio. We do sloppy. We do sloppy often. It's just, this is what we do. It's what we do. If I can only find it now. Boom, here it is. Cool. All right. That got so ruined and butchered. I don't know why. My apologies. Where did it go? You just took everything off. Okay, so Manny's doing his thing. My apologies, boys and girls. But here we go. Here. It's on our YouTube thing. Boom. Let's go.
I came into the hood, I must return. The hood I came.
Everything that we have said, every thought that we have harbored, every fantasy that we have chased and allowed to develop within us. The conscience will speak before God, naming every one of our sins. And so, we must live in preparation for this judgment. We must listen to the voice of our conscience now, in this life, while there is time.
I love Father
The demons
Spirit and Bailey.
will work above all to distract us now. True. We live in a world, in a time when both man and the God.
Now before making records, the hood was my savior. Cause from the hood I came, into the hood I must return.
God
Cause from the hood
has
I
given
came.
us a voice, an inner voice. Every one of us will face God's judgment. Every one of us will, as Christians, one of our tasks as Christians, every one of us will face God's judgment. Every of the truth. Develop the remembrance of God.
When I am weak, you're telling me that I'm strong. When I'm right, you're telling me that I'm wrong.
They continue to tempt us,
But I know, now I understand.
to lead us astray.
Now I see your wicked plan.
They continue to tempt us to lead us astray. They continue to tempt us. Nonsense of this world. Nonsense of this world. Of the truth. Of the truth. Too often in our modern world, the work of the demons is made. The work of the so easy. The work of the demons is made so easy. They continue to tempt us. They continue to tempt us. God has given us a voice, an inner voice.
Right like that, man, Bring them things, brethren.
God has given us a voice, an inner voice. The conscience. The conscience. The conscience will speak out. God
you understand?
has given us a voice, an inner voice. The conscience.
Cause from the hood I came into the hood I must return. I'm a jungleist. Don't try to change my
God has given us a voice, an inner voice. The conscience when we die. We'll testify
I'm
when
adding
we
that
die.
stuff live, you know.
We'll testify when we die. We'll testify when we die. When we die.
I'm a jungleist. Understand. Cause from the hood I came.
God has given us a voice, an inner voice.
Don't try to change my plan.
Every one of us will face God's judgment. Too often in our modern world, the work of the demons is made. The work of the demons is made.
My dear brother.
So easy,
the love and support.
They continue to tempt us.
Thank you.
They can, and the
Much
demons,
obliged for the great music and showing me the Orthodox musicians. We have plenty in our fold, my dear friends.
Nonsense of the.
We have lots.
They continue to tempt us to lead us astray.
Orthodox musicians and individuals in our fold.
God has given us a voice, an inner voice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The conscience.
This is from the episode that we did.
We'll speak out.
When
we'll
Buck
speak
Johnson
out. The conscience. Speak
was
out.
guest DJ. I think the mix-up is coming right here. I think it's coming up here. Where is it? Let's see. Oh no! I took it out of this. It's in the beginning. So hold on. Is it here? When Buck Johnson creeps in. Oh, that's on the clip I gave Manny, which is not there. It's still, is it up there? Anyways, that was it. I got a copyright strike? No, we had to cut it for the copyright. Oh, yeah. We had to cut it for the copyright strike. True that. That's true. Vanny pointed out a good thing. Thanks for new member, the Cheap Chimp. Thank you, brother. Thank you much obliged.
Much obliged. Thank you. Welcome to the Spoon Platoon. The Spoon Platoon.
All right. What was it? Yeah, no, copyright strike just one. Myrna Chuck. Yeah. We deal with our copyright. I was asked how we get around it. Not just today, other times. Honestly, prayer. No, we get. Well, I mean that does help. We do get copyright strikes from time to time. We just find our ways of like just moving on and kind of ignoring it. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get taken down midstream. That has happened on multiple occasions. Apparently, they do not like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Often, when we've ever played Stevie Ray Vaughan, I think almost every time we've played Stevie Ray Vaughan, we've gotten taxed, taken down. But that's okay. We just keep moving. We just keep rolling. Keep doing whatever the hell it is that we do. And my apologies for using that word. For those of you who don't know, I'm Cradle Orthodox who's come back to the faith, but I still have a lot of bad, from the past stuff, baggage, blah, blah, blahs, whatever it is. I'm not even making any sense. Anyways, my dear brothers and sisters, let's play some more Orthodox musicians just because we had the lovely raid by our dear brother, Jim Bob. Much love and respect to Jim Bob for sending a bunch of peoples over. And since you guys are most likely either Orthodox curious, or you should be, well, I'm introducing you guys to a whole bunch of awesome Orthodox musicians and content creators of all types. Because that's what we do here. Sundays at SOS Radio. This isn't it. This is not an SOS Radio. Oh, you know what? I also did a remix of Jay Dyer. So that one that you just saw with Father Spirit on Bailey, I did that jungle remix live, and then I did a Jay Dyer one as well. So I'll play that after this. If you guys want to see the Jay Dyer one, let me know in the chats if you want to see the Jay Dyer remix. Let me know in the chats. If you want, I will play it. If you don't, I won't. It's that simple. It's a weird vote, but you get that vote because you're here. Yet another Orthodox musician and content creator.
It was early in the evening, and I'm yelling to the sky. I swear I seen the second sun on, telling you no lie. Like
For Jim
pair of
Bob.
burning eyes staring at me from afar. Thought I'd chase him down, so I hopped on in my car. And as I turned the key, I looked and they were gone. Don't know what I seen, but something's going on. You can't lie to me. I got eyes to see. You're playing hide and seek with my mind. Well, you can call me crazy anytime.
Big thanks to everyone that's supporting us and helping us. Thank you so much.
Not a single cloud in sight. Ground zero's calling for a non-existent flight. Like a double game of Jenga, they came tumbling to the floor. Something had to justify.
Obviously, this is Jim Bob.
The mothers they came for, demanding truth for all. Anyone with half a brain would know that's not how buildings fall. But you can't lie to me. I got eyes to see. You're playing hide and seek with my mind.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you for the love.
Well, you can call me crazy.
Thank you, Alexander Walker, for gifting memberships. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, the cheap chimp.
It was 1969, and we're gathered round the tube. Jackie's dead after he said we're going to the moon. And everyone believed that we finally won the race. Now the whole world's mesmerized by animated space. Half a century later, and we still not going back. But we nailed it on our first attempt in a flimsy tinfoil shack. Well, you can't lie to me. I got eyes to see. You're playing hide and seek with my mind.
Of course, everybody knows that was made by Jim Bob, yet another Orthodox content creator. This is not an odd.
You can take your stand against the devil's schemes.
Content creator.
For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, stand firm. Then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace, in addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Ephesians 6:11-17.
Yes, Jason Mirachuk. Let me know if you're set up for raids. I was just going to say that. My dear brother Moldy beat me to it. Let us know if you're set up for raids and we're going to raid you. I think I'll probably do like another 15 minutes and then we'll send them all over to you. Jason, let me know if that works for you, sir. in the chats, because that's how we do things. We're not super professional. You can just jibber jabber and chat and whatever and talk to the chat, and then they could tell you stuff, and you can make mistakes, and you could stare off in the distance and not make any sense. And then, you know, people still, they're still around. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you all for sticking around after you got, after Jim Bob's raid. Appreciate that. Thanks for all the love and support. Hope you're enjoying whatever this is. Again, this is not our usual type of broadcast. For SOS Radio, we do that Sunday, getting set up and ready for an ortho radio only. I guess this kind of turned into that, but, we'll do it proper real soon. So if you don't subscribe to us so you're notified. I hate saying this stuff. I never usually say this stuff, but I'll take the opportunity now. So subscribe to our channels and blah, blah, blah. That way you'll know what's going down. And shout out to Cyprian. Oh, yeah, Cyprian. That's true, man. Yeah, we got to play some Cyprian. Full show. You know what? While I go do that, yeah, we're going to play some Cyprian. That's a good call, Moldy. Post. Is Cyprian here? Did he just jump in? I'm just seeing a bunch of Cyprian comments all of a sudden. I look over there. That's awesome. Yeah, totally forgot. Let's do that. We're going to play some Cyprian in a second. While I go look for that, check out the Jay Dyer remix. Live.
We're going to do that live right now.
We're going to do that live at a dive.
Yes, Denise.
It's all about the spoon. I love the spoons are everywhere. The spoons.
Let me clear my
where Jesus, the only subject is the divine personal logos. Where Jesus says a good man brings forth good treasure out of the So the Orthodox Church believes. So the Orthodox Church believes. So the Orthodox Church believes prayer, attending the church services, prayer, attending the church services. Nope. So the Orthodox Church believes prayer, attending the church services. So the sacraments are given to us. So the sacraments are given to us. You have real tangible thing. So the Orthodox Church believes. So the sacraments are given to us. You have real tangible thing. The theosis or deification. So the Orthodox Church believes prayer, attending the church services. But God knows our nature and our weaknesses, and so the sacraments are given to us for prayer, attending the church services. The only subject is the divine personal logos.
All right, I just took that. If you want to watch the rest of that, that's on our YouTube channel. You can check that out, and the Father Spirit and Bailey one that we did. I'm going to start doing more of those remixes. It's been a while since I've done one. I have a couple I want to do. One of Father Turbo and Father Zachariah Lynch and a few others like that. I want to try it out. I remember when I first did the one with Father Spirit and Bailey, I sent it to Father Turbo because for those that don't know, Father Turbo is my spiritual father. So I sent it to him to okay, I'm like, can I do this? Am I allowed to do this? Sorry. Am I allowed to do this? And I sent it to him, and he gave me the thumbs up, but he says, but be careful. It's like, this is good, but be careful. So definitely had to do that. And yes, I do got to add in like unmute dude. And Jamie, get me a coffee. You know, one of those things. I got to throw that into that mix there. I looked for Moldy. I looked for Cyprian's track. He took it down. I got to send him a message to send me like a proper track of that. Cyprian took it down. He took it down. I don't know why. I don't know why he took it down. I don't know why he took it down. But we're going to be wrapping up real quick or in a bit here. And we'll send you guys all over to our dear brother, Mr. Mirnichuk, who, by the way, if you don't know, I dropped the interview that we did together. We dropped that on Saturday. Go check that out. The SOS podcast stuff, for those that use it, don't know what SOS is all about and study of stuff and SOS radio and this and that. We do 3 things. We do a radio show every Sunday called SOS Radio. We do a podcast where I interview guests like Father Turbo, Father John Valadez, Jason Mirachuk, Buck Johnson, Neil from Dirt Poor Robbins, so on and so forth. All those you can find over there. Jamie Henshaw, we interviewed Jamie as well, and a whole whack of people. You can go check those out, as well as the Board No More, the Board No More Network. We're setting up our next episode of Board No More. What that is 2 things. Number one, it is our production company, I guess you can call it, and the network, but we refer to, but it's also a type of stream that we do. Picture Much Music, which is Canada's version of MTV. It was way better than MTV. I always have to say that because it's true. Picture MTV, Much Music, but instead of just, a channel that you turn on and it's like a bunch of different shows compiled, like, slapped on together, picture an Orthodox version of that, and we grab a whole bunch of our beloved brothers and sisters in the online Orthodox community, and we do 40-minute segments, so basically I introduce the beginning of the stream, then I bring on our first streamer. So we've had Orthodox Family Life, Christina, she's in the chats. We've had Buck Johnson on. We've had Mr. Westford, just a whole bunch of podcasters and awesome people. So then I introduce it. First show goes up. Then I come in towards the end. We had a Synaxis podcast. So, they're popping in my head after. This is part of the show. I just ramble and talk just crazy. And what's you talking about? This nonsense. So I just introduce the thing. We get the first person on. They do their thing for 45 minutes to an hour. Then I jump on and talk with them for a bit. Then I introduce the next podcaster. For example, Orthodox Review. He did one. And then we do that for like 5-6 hours. And we just have a whole bunch of different podcasters, one after the other. So we're setting up our next version of that, our live stream of that. Okay, well, no, I'm going to wrap it up now anyways. So you did find it? Moldy sent it. Okay, so that's in the Born No More chat. Sorry, guys. I just got caught halfway through what I was trying to say. I should have not stopped jabbering, because now Manny and Moldy found the video that we were looking for, which we're going to play right now. If I can just get my computer behaving. It's not behaving. It's being a bad boy. And then we'll send you guys over to Jason Mirachuk. So those are the 3 types of shows we do: the SOS Radio, the podcast, and the Board No More stuff. So if that sounds interesting or enticing, or even if it doesn't, hit the subscribes. I think this is the most I've ever told anyone to hit the subscribe ever. I don't normally even say that. The likes and shares and, support us here and support us there. Should do more of that. Nothing wrong with doing that. It's actually probably something I should get used to doing more of. And I'm multitasking because I'm also bringing up Cyprian's track. Oh, it's unlisted. That's why. It's all good. I'm going to play it anyways. I'm assuming Cyprian will not mind. And then everyone go and follow Cyprian. Manny, throw his things in there if you can't, if you don't mind. Boom, here we go. More Orthodox musicians that are awesome. Orthodox Review, we were just talking about you, brother. I just mentioned your name. Orthodox Review. Is that your request, Denise? Me? Cyprian, boys and girls, go follow Cyprian. That's the musician you're listening to right now. Currently, as they say. Currently. No one says that. That's the one. To answer Jim Bob's question, not as of yet. We're getting the store up currently, actually, right now. We should have it up in like a week or two, Manny. Is that right? Yeah, a week or two should be up, and we'll have those spoon shirts and hoodies and possibly that. Thanks again, Jim Bob, for rating us and sending everybody over. I don't know if you were here earlier. We definitely, love and thank you for your love and support. We love you and thank you for your love and support. See how jibber jabbered that is? We even played you as well a bit ago. All right, this is the last track we're going to play, and we're going to send everybody over to our dear brother, Jason Murachuk. Murachuk. Do you have that ready, Manny, for the raids? Oh, wait, we took a raid, and we're grateful, and we're passing the raid off to Jason in a second. I think we're going to go out with one last Orthodox musician and then calling it at that. Sense? Yes. Does it make? No. You know what I'm saying? So I saw, I'll go with the first Orthodox artist, musician that someone named that wasn't me, because the first one was Denise named me. So hold on, let's see. I think after, Denise said manoelia. I'm not going to play me, man. And then posts right underneath that says luxury. All right, we'll go with luxury. I'm just going to go in the order because I see a lot of names of bands I want to play. Definitely. But we're going to go with luxury because that was the first suggestion, request after Denise's request for my music, which I'm not going to play. But thank you for requesting my music. Luxury. 3 priests and a non-priest. 3 Orthodox priests and 1 non-Orthodox priest comprise this band.
Remember when we danced this way? There were times we could dance all day. Nowhere to go, no reason to stay. There were times we could dance all day. The warm nights, the flashlights, we stood along the causeway and watched the shores decay. Yeah, there were times we could dance all day.
Luxury.
Remember when we talked this way? Yeah, there were times we could talk all day. Nothing was wrong, no one to hate. Yeah, there were times we could talk all day. The consequence of a cheap rent would lie in your room all day. And and watch the walls decay. And there were times we would talk all day. I'm going to fall in love with you. I'm going to fall in love with you. I'm going to fall in love with you. Because
That drop, man, that drop is so good, that drop is so good. It's so good.
All right. Before we let you go, this is the last one. You know what I mean? If you wanted to pick a conspiracy theorist out there, not that I would, have a problem with that, you can go with St. Paisios. Because technically, I guess you would be to someone that wants to be all like, well, you're a conspiracy theorist. And why I say that? Because it's a perfect song to tie in St. Paisios.
My junglers, brothers and sisters. Junglers. Say no. Bomb.
Rastafari. No. You better say no to the mark of the beast.
The microchip, they want to shut us down.
New world order.
You understand what I'm saying? So they're attacking the children using tones and frequencies.
Try to get you to believe.
Say no. Say no. Congo nothing.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Some good old-fashioned jungle. Congo Nate. Last track while we say goodbye. We'll send you over to Jason Miranchuk. Remember, you better say no. For St. Paisios.
Babylon,
set a plan. Babylon, set a plan. Babylon, set a plan. I put the microchip in your right hand.
That is the revelation. And the youth, them are revolutionary. You know, say them are the sons and daughters of Bob Marley.
The mark of the beast, spark and the part of it, hard to be me, so pass with a green pocket, grains the farm heart and sing. Common and start to see, for the youth and the most I part and the sing start to see.
Man, are we ready to send everybody over? All right, boys and girls. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you on Sunday or whenever else we're doing our thing. Thank you guys all for being here. Sending you over to Jason Miranchuk.
You better say no.
God bless each and every one of you guys. Say hello to Jason for us. Take it easy. All right, Manny, whenever you're ready, send him over.
You're watching your art or no more.